in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
We made it.
Say it again.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the last day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Your work week, anyway.
The bell even worked today.
It did.
That's how excited it was for Friday.
Is anxious to be Friday itself.
I was like, I get a weekend?
That's right.
I'll work.
And
one day.
Only thing that makes this Friday any better is the fact that it is a McDonald's Friday. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday. They grace our presence with delicious breakfast treats. Mm-hmm. And we even got green chili day today.
Yeah.
So we got cups of green chili.
Yeah.
So our guests can, put a spoonful of green chili, helps the Egg McMuffin go down.
Well, the mayor had a very specific request this morning, so
Yeah.
So we want to make sure to follow through.
That's right. But, anytime's a good time for some green chili.
I agree. And, but visit any of your McDonald's with 2 locations currently in Roswell.
See.
Almost the third. I don't know if you've been down south and seen.
Getting close.
They got the lights up. They got the signage up. They were laying the concrete, I think, a couple days ago. It's imminent.
Yeah.
It is imminent.
I know it's been a long time coming, but it's coming. So
'tis indeed.
So swing by any of your McDonald's. Don't forget to download the McDonald's app to your smartphones. They always have exclusive deals that you can get only through the app. You can order, pay, use it to go through drive-through, curbside, dine-in, whatever you want.
I left my phone in the other room, but I was going to check how many points I have because now they're doing the loyalty points program.
Yeah.
Every $1 you spend gets you points towards other free items.
That's right. So get you, maybe work your way up to like a 20-piece.
I'm like 1 or 2 purchases away from a free Big Mac, free quarter pounder with cheese, free 10-piece nugget, free like any of the entrees.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So coming soon for Sean there. But yeah, go ahead and download it. Give it, because you're going there anyway, right?
Yep.
Might as well get some free stuff for it while you're doing it. So yeah, check it out. It's a great way. Also, if you're looking for work here, mchire.com. McDonald's is hiring for all locations, including the one soon to be on the south side there.
Yep.
And just log on to mchire.com and start that application process there. And as I say every time, the potential for growth in the Snowburger Foundation with the McDonald's here in Roswell and Artesia, Carlsbad, Tucumcari. I think that's all the locations they got them. But folks in the management side of his organization all started working their entry level into the McDonald's family. So
they respect hustle.
Exactly. So it is very possible to get a big family supporting career there through McDonald's. Go to mchire.com and apply today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I would encourage you to enjoy some McDonald's.
Yes.
But don't fill up.
Okay.
Because I brought us an extra treat today.
All right.
It's a dead ferret. No, I'm kidding. So I was telling there's a dead ferret in here.
Is this a good treat or a bad treat?
I think it's a good treat.
Okay.
So,
ooh, an MRE. All right.
So we went through the box last night. Now I've got another one in the car.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I wanted to show you this one first and give you the option.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to you face down.
Face
and let
down.
you do the reveal.
All right.
So we were trying to decide what would be the best dish to try on the morning show.
All right. MRE, which stands for meal ready to eat.
Meal
in case you
ready
didn't
to
know.
eat.
We went with menu number 4. Yes, this is a what we would call a gourmet MRE.
Right.
This would be we're eating good tonight MRE.
Yep.
Spaghetti with beef and sauce.
And sauce.
Yeah.
They made sure to include the sauce this time. The whole first time was a fiasco.
If you don't put it on there, it won't be in
Then
the bag.
it's beef without sauce.
Yeah.
That's just sauceless beef.
Oh, this is Warfighter recommended, Warfighter tasted, and Warfighter approved.
Absolutely.
I believe that's a newer. This bag does look a little more modern than the ones I was.
Now, the other option that I have sitting in the car, it looks like, I don't know if it's a different company that makes it, but it's a different logo on the front.
Okay.
It's almost like I haven't really looked at it very closely, but it's a different logo entirely. And it's, I'll bring that flavor up for a later hour.
If we could, can we maybe cook these up Monday? By the way, I got a little more time on the show.
When I don't have to deal with the intestinal distress. Oh, we'll book today?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of guests and stuff, so I'm thinking maybe Monday I'll have
There's a tease for you, kids.
Yeah, maybe we'll have some MRE. We could even cook it up in the little stove.
Yeah,
on
the air. It'll be fun. Right on.
And that's all we're doing with the stove. That's all we're doing.
That's it.
No more fun and games or frivolity with it, because that would be wrong.
Did you know? No. Let's not do that. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Tasty treats.
Do you know what the have you opened a spaghetti one before?
I haven't opened the spaghetti one, no.
See what the accoutrement is?
Extra? Yeah, I'm curious.
You want to do that now?
We can if you want to. I just figured we'd save it for the reveal.
Let's save it.
Save it for the reveal.
Yeah, let's save it. I like the whole Warfighter recommended, Warfighter tested, Warfighter approved.
Just in case you were curious, we put this in front of a team of warfighters.
To be honest, I think I've never heard the term Warfighter.
There's a big room, bunch of fluorescent lights, like 6 tables put together.
Yeah.
Some guy walks in and says, I'm sure you're all wondering why I've gathered you here today. You warfighters are here to test out a series of MREs.
They don't say 4 out of 5, so there's not like one warfighter
That
going.
one guy's just like, I don't like it.
I like pudding.
This is nonsense. Garbage.
This spaghetti is served at room temperature.
Days worth of calories in one of those bags. And
Yeah. This is not diet food by any stretch of the imagination. This is literally, in this bag, is supposed to have all the calories you need for an entire day. So there's like, I think that, I want to say, and this is for a warfighter.
Right.
So it's like 3,000 calories in here. Enough, more to, war fighting calories. So it's packed with
it's all that good stuff. Carbs.
So if you're looking to diet,
Lots of carbs.
probably not going to want to eat MRE unless you're going to eat one like a week. That's all you eat.
Pure energy, pure carbs.
Yeah. But if you want the advantage of eating M&Ms from 10 years ago, by golly, pick you up some of these.
And if you want the advantage of eating M&Ms and some ice cream now, head to McDonald's.
Ooh, they got ice cream, M&Ms?
Yeah, they have the M&M flurry, yeah.
I did not know that. I don't get desserts
I don't think
very
they still
often.
do. I shouldn't have said. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they still have the.
Yeah, I don't get the desserts very often.
For a while, I don't think they do it anymore. But for a while, they had Rolo McFlurries.
Rolos?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, giving Rolos some love.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a hankering for a pack of Rolos?
Why don't they give the Goober guys some love?
You want some goober love? You're gonna have to wait till Monday when I can mention another place.
Goober McFlurry.
Yeah, that's called it. Never mind. I can't say it. Can't say it on the air. Can't say it because this is McDonald's Friday.
Oh
There's
man.
a place with 2 letters in the name. They do a little swirly thing.
I'm very curious what your other one is. Is it a good one or is it a wah one?
It's actually pretty. This one seems like it would be better.
Okay. Better than this one?
Better than that one.
Wow, because usually spaghetti is upper tier MRE territory.
Yeah, we were going through like, no, not that one. That looks too good. Not that one. And of course she has dietary restrictions, so there's a couple other ones. Like the I think it was either beef noodle or the beef chili or one of those. She's like, it's gonna tear me up, but I'm still gonna eat it. Because there's like one that's like beef, but she's like her favorite flavor. So
Well, that's right. She doesn't. So,
Yeah.
so we're probably doing a favor by eating the spaghetti one.
Yeah, the other one's also beef based.
You're welcome.
Hey, got your back.
Oh, man. I ain't going to lie. It kind of makes me happy because it does bring
Yeah, it's like nostalgia.
a little bit for me.
And
It
for
is,
me, it's
yeah.
sort of too because I never served, but my uncle did. And he used to bring MREs home, like from when he would serve or whatever, and
Yeah.
we'd try them and stuff. Me and my friends would. So I grew up, doing the MRE thing too. So
Yeah.
I always enjoyed it.
They used to, back in the day, have a good quality plastic spoon.
Like
like-
the thick ones,
Yeah.
the thick boys.
I
Yeah.
like there were ones who you're like, hey, I'm going to save this spoon.
This is utilitarian.
Yeah, I could use this later. I don't know if that's still the case. Water bottles have gotten thinner. I'm sure the
Right.
spoons in an MRE are probably not as stout.
But one's
as they
got to
used be.
imagine when you're on the in the battlefield,
Yeah.
you need a stout spoon because
Yeah.
you're going to be eating pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I would think. So
Well,
you need something that's going to hold up.
Well, back prior to the MRE, you had like your C rations and like
Right.
World War II and all that, and then they would issue what was called a P-51, and they are an amazing tool. You can still buy them in camping stores and stuff, but
Right.
it's a little mini can opener. It's about the size
I've
of a
seen it.
paper
It's like
clip.
the church key thing.
Yeah,
You
and you
twist
just
open the can.
and they used to come with your C rations and your D whatever the rations were before MREs.
Yeah.
And those are amazing. I used to use one of the Boy Scouts all the time because some of the vets would be like, "See, this is a P-51. You need one of these."
Still to this day, and I don't know what happened to it. I've never found one again. I'm sure there'd be if I haven't really looked that hard, but it was a Swiss Army knife essentially, but it had a fork, spoon, and knife.
I had one of those. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a full fork, a full spoon, and a full knife, like on this kit.
When I was in the Scouts, man, one of my pocket knives was a Swiss Army knife, and it had a fork. They were on the external of the part of the knife.
Yeah, it was like fork on one side, spoon on the
Yeah.
other, and it would extend like Darth Maul's lightsaber essentially.
Yeah. And then when
Why
you're done,
not?
they had a toothpick. You could pick
Yeah.
your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Never used that for actual toothpicking
No?
purposes.
You know what I never did?
I mean,
was,
I picked teeth, but not because I had something stuck in it. It
right.
just
It was
fun
usually
to
for
put
like
in your
picking
mouth.
out splinters or putting.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I never used, never ever, was the tweezers. Those
I did use
tweezers
the
were
tweezers.
garbage.
I did use those tweezers.
Did you?
Because
It was
I got
just
a splinter.
Two pieces of metal put together. They didn't work as tweezers for me.
Yeah, I remember in the Boy Scouts there, I got a splinter, camping, whatever, and I did use the tweezers to remove a splinter.
Fair enough.
I did. I first aided myself up with that.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, that's right.
You ever use the awl? Has
The
anyone ever done leather work with a Swiss Army knife? Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say for a badge.
For leatherwork merit
Yeah.
badge.
Totally understand.
The only time.
The only time.
I haven't been
wasn't
working on belts or nothing
Yep.
since then.
Dude, I straight up did that with a steak knife when I was keto.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I don't have an awl or anything. The one time I don't have a Swiss Army knife, so I just went in my kitchen, grabbed a steak knife, and made a new hole.
Yeah, it's fine. It just, your hole isn't quite the same.
Oh yeah, you just gotta force it through.
Yeah.
You force the thing through enough times,
It'll work. It's functional. It's functional.
it's like a wife.
Exactly. Just on complaints. Hey, let me give you the rundown for today's show. I haven't done any of that yet.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do have a full slate for today, hence the reason we'll bust into spaghetti and meat and beef with sauce. With sauce. MRE here. Mayor Des Kenta is going to join us here in just a few minutes. Last night was city council meeting. He'll give us the Sports Center recap of that there. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk county for pretty much the rest of the morning here in the 8 o'clock on. Sheriff Mike Harrington will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. Also, Chavez County Manager Bill Williams will join us as well. County Commission met a week early. Legislative session, everything else. There's some stuff coming. So they actually met this week instead of next week. So we'll talk with the sheriff. We'll talk with County Manager Bill Williams. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, County Commissioner Will Cavan will join us. I think he's got a guest or two, but I'm not entirely sure on that. Will join us there, and we'll talk some county and stuff there with County Commissioner. So that's plus we'll have all of your other features, include the news of the local and national variety, town hall business, Kim Commando updates, handy updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Warmer today, colder tomorrow. There's a tease for you.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm today, but get ready for a big drop in our daytime temperatures by tomorrow with a cold front heading into eastern New Mexico. Sunny today and windy, our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, then getting cold overnight, mid 30s, windy and partly cloudy. Saturday looks like a sunny day with our high in the mid 40s. We're back to the 60s and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 32 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 43%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. We have a red flag warning in effect today. That'll kick in at 11 through 7 p.m. That's because the winds are going to be up this afternoon. Good news is it's going to be warm today. Mostly sunny, highs in the low 70s, 73, what they're calling for. But winds going to be breezy. We're looking at northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour this morning, picking up 15 to 25 this afternoon. Could see some wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 27. They use the term blustery this evening. Blustery with a north wind 20 to 25 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. We'll see those decrease down 15 to 20 after midnight, so it'll still be a little breezy. Saturday, with all the wind, that's bringing in cooler temps for tomorrow. We're going to go from 73 today to sunny and 48 tomorrow with north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear Saturday night with an overnight low of 21 degrees. Southwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. And then Sunday, sunny skies back up into the upper 60s, 67. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. For your Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, sunny skies with a high of 63, and then we're back near 70 for Tuesday of next week. And looks like a little roller coastery next week as well. 60s on Monday, 70s Tuesday, back down to 60s on Wednesday, 50s on Thursday. So, yeah, it's winter in New Mexico. That's what we get. We're going to do. All right, it is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. Mayor Dennis Kenta will join us here about 7:30, 7:35 or so. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Drive into a year that's new with a vehicle that's new or new to you from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford's inventory of pre-owned vehicles is bigger than it's ever been, the biggest in southeastern New Mexico. More than 140 excellent vehicles on the lot, just about every make and model of truck, including the popular Ford Super Duty. Plenty of SUVs, too, as well as luxury cars and sporty cars. Something for every family at every budget. All carefully inspected and fairly priced. And all come with a 3-day money-back guarantee so you can buy without being shy. If you have a really nice vehicle, Roswell Ford wants to buy it. We'll appraise it in about 20 minutes, then make you an offer that's better than other places. And Roswell Ford is now taking orders in person and online for the new Ford trucks and SUVs that will be arriving soon. So get your new year started right with a vehicle that's right from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, corner of 9th and Main.
Hi, I'm Dennis Kintai, Mayor of Roswell. Since becoming mayor in 2014, we've accomplished a lot. We've cleaned out numerous derelict structures that spoil our neighborhoods. We've constructed a state-of-the-art aquatic center. We have built 2 new splash pads in city parks for families to enjoy. We have invested over $25 million to revitalize our air center. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Roswell has stayed open and free while we work to ensure everyone's safety. Today, we are under attack from those trying to impose Santa Fe values on our way of life. I will always fight to keep Roswell values front and center. We've done a lot, but there's more to be done. I'm asking you to vote to keep me, Dennis Kintai, as your mayor on March 1st. Together, we can keep Roswell free. This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is stocked with fabrics and everything you need, and the Calico Cow is your destination for brand new Brothers sewing machines. Find out more and shop online at roswellquilting.com or move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Happy New Year! Isn't that what we usually say this time of year? But is happiness what we really need? Maybe it would be better to wish each other a joyful New Year, or a contented New Year, or peace-filled New Year, or maybe best of all, a COVID-free New Year. Joy, contentment, and peace, that's what the world really needs. We're coming off a crazy time of year when our world should be most focused on joy that comes from Jesus. But instead, we turn to a time of anything but contentment. In the book of Romans, Paul offers up this blessing in verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Wouldn't that be a better wish for our world for a new year? From our family to yours, we wish you a joyful, contented, and peace-filled new year.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. During your lifetime, you'll produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Spit out this bit of information at your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 727. Mayor Dennis Kentire will join us here in just a few minutes on the other side of news. Real quick, before we play you news and all that, couple things want to put you on your radar. For folks here in Roswell, Vitalant is having their first blood drive in Roswell of 2022, happening today from 11 to 3 at the Vitalant office, which is over by Lovelace Hospital there. If you would like to donate blood today, call or text Stephanie with Vitalant, see if they've got some appointments available. You can reach her at 575-840-8178. Again, 575-840-8178. If you can't make it today, they will be doing another blood drive at the Vitalant office Tuesday of next week, January 18th from 1 to 5. Once again, call or text Stephanie with Vitalant to get an appointment, 575-840-8178. Other thing I want to put on your radar is City of Roswell is once again having their annual father-daughter dance around the Valentine's Day weekend. Annual event they've been doing for many years now. If you would like to sign up, they make it even easier now. You just go to roswellconnect.com, and that's kind of the city's website for all the recreational side of the city. Like if you want to get passes to the aquatic center or the zoo or any of those places, or if there's special events at those places, go to the Roswell Connect website. So you go to roswellconnect.com there, and you can get tickets. They're only $10, and that gets you a daddy and a daughter. If you have an additional daughter, it's another $3. So if you've got like 2 daughters, it'll be $13. The event will be taking place on February 12th, that Saturday before, from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's going to be at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center. The daughter age is like 5 to 18, so dancing age, I guess 4 or 5 year old if they can dance on your shoes there.
So no like 42-year-old daughters or.
I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, I don't. If like say your daughter comes to town, you want to take them to the dance. Why couldn't you? Still your daughter, right?
Yeah.
I think they should. But I think they want to really encourage dads and their kids to come out. But,
okay.
But
the little ones get everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like at Christmas time. The littlest one gets all the really cool stuff.
Exactly, and then exactly. But I don't see nothing wrong with adult dad and daughter dance and coming out there too. Why not? Maybe they haven't danced with them since their wedding, or maybe they haven't had the wedding yet, and so let's do the Valentine's Day dad and daughter dance. But either way, that's going to be February 12th at the Roswell Recreation Aquatic Center. Again, go to RoswellConnect.com. You can get tickets and everything there. And make it. I recommend make it kind of a date night for your daughters. Maybe get dressed up a little bit. Maybe take them to dinner first. Something fancy like McDonald's. No. I would say for a meal like this, go ahead and take them to like Red Lobster or something. Something that we got a little bit.
Yeah,
more
but if they're little, they're going to like McDonald's.
Depends on the age. Yeah, I guess. Depends
like
on the
a 5-year-old would probably enjoy McDonald's a whole lot more.
Yeah, but if you got like
not that Red Lobster bad,
but if you got like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old, maybe they're going to want to be a little more sophisticated. So you take them to like Red Lobster.
Seafood brisk.
There you go. It's like if it says market price, girl, don't get that. But anything else, you're good to go. That's the rule of thumb.
What's market price?
That means you can't afford it. That's what that means.
They don't want you fainting.
That's right. Stick to the popcorn shrimp. All right, 7:31. Let's pause for news. Kim Commando update. Mayor Dennis Kentai will join us on the other side. We'll give the Sports Center recap of last night's City Council meeting, which, by the way, was under 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Which means no one's bleary-eyed this morning. That's what that
we're
means.
actually good.
Or if they are, it's their own fault.
Yeah.
All right, 7:31. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Eastern New Mexico University inviting New Mexico Congresswoman Senator Gay Kernan and community college presidents to ENMU Portales this week, commemorating the signing of the 2+2 pilot project into law. The goal of the pilot project is to help students from two-year colleges throughout southeastern New Mexico efficiently progress toward completing their bachelor's degree at ENMU Portales. The bill was signed into law by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham in April of last year. Loving Elementary School now reverting back to remote learning for a few days. Superintendent Lee White said roughly 25% of the school's staff were out due to quarantine requirements, while 20% of students were displaying symptoms of COVID-19. White said the district simply does not have enough available substitutes to cover all of the classrooms. There will be no online work. Students have taken home a packet to do work at home. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
We've all gotten used to seeing QR codes used at restaurants since the pandemic hit. They're really easy to create for you, me, as well as hackers and thieves. I'm Kim Commando with a QR code warning brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job for free and find qualified candidates quickly at linkedin.com/Kim. QR codes were invented as a quick way for someone to use their phone to get more information or maybe be redirected to a website. You know the drill. Hold your phone's camera up to the QR code, and that's it. Hackers, or really simply thieves, are using them to steal. For example, in Austin, Houston, and San Antonio, Texas, QR codes have popped up on city parking meters. People think that they're paying for parking when they're actually at a fraudulent site scamming credit card numbers and money. Don't fall for it. Also on the rise, QR codes being used in phishing scams. In the example that I saw, the person was told to scan the QR code in the email to get a new debit card. Keep your guard up all the time and get breaking security alerts 24/7 at commando.com.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro. This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you, and to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is
good.
Although he might appreciate the humor and get you off with a warning or something, you know. I do know
Keep
this.
telling yourself that.
I do know this. If you're nice when you get pulled over, you tend to get treated nice. Just
yes,
saying.
that's right.
I do know that. So
who did that? Chris Rock did that routine.
Oh yeah, there is a.
We can't talk about it. This is a family show.
Yeah,
but,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
oh my golly, yeah. So true though. Anyway.
Good morning. It is 7:35, and Mayor Dennis Kentai joining us here this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right. Well, good news is y'all got everything done in time to get back home and catch a little primetime TV.
Yeah,
so.
which was amazing. No, it really wasn't too bad at all. We had 9 counselors. Counselor Roebuck was out of pocket. I have heard that he had a birthday.
I think I saw some rumblings of that on the social media.
So who knows where he's at? Hopefully he's out on bond by now.
He knows the guy.
Yeah, he knows the guy. So Counselor Kennard and Counselor Moore, they both did it by go-to. So we had 7 people in attendance.
Good deal.
We went off and started right promptly with a presentation by our, I guess you would call it our financial team. And that includes the city manager, Joe Nebb, the director of administrative services, Juan Fuentes, and Janie Davies, our chief financial officer.
Okay.
And they did kind of a tag team presentation. It's what we called it was the mid-year financial review, because we're halfway through this fiscal year.
Right.
What? It's January. No, it's fiscal year starts July 1. Don't ask me why. Ask an accountant.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just want to be different.
You know what? I think you're spot on. So this gave an overview. We want to get the PowerPoint slides out and available because it would be so much easier to look at this. The long story short is we're in great shape financially.
Good.
We truly are. We're well above budget on our revenue coming in.
Good.
We have 3 times the necessary reserves.
Good.
The state requires us to have what they call 1/12 of our operating. We have 3 times that.
Good.
And we've been something that we've been shooting to do for a while, but we've been able to accomplish it. We have planned and budgeted some pay increases based upon the inflation that we've experienced.
Good.
But the good news is we have that built in. Those will be kicking in on July 1. We have the way our payroll works is you have steps and you have grades.
Mm-hmm.
So your grade, I'm making up a number here, grade 10 and step 1. After you end up going up to a step 2 after you've been there a minimum period of time.
Sure.
Those step increases occur on January 1.
Okay.
And they are a 2% increase. So each step is 2% higher than the previous step.
Gotcha.
Then in July 1, we kick in the cost of living increase based upon the Social Security CPI. It's going to be 5.9%. But once again, we've got that budgeted.
Sure. Quick question, just since we're talking budget here. You mentioned we're talking about reserves, or we're doing really good there. It just reminded me, I'm curious, when we first started about the pandemic and everything, we were, obviously gross receipts was a big concern, taking a hit. Looking at it now, are we seeing, like, are those gross receipts numbers, like, they're not a pre-pandemic numbers, or are they? I mean, what are they? Are they better? Are they,
Yep.
what's that number look like for us?
That is actually better than it was pre-pandemic.
Okay.
With a few exceptions. Now, we had an anomaly in September of 19 or 20, September 20, I think it was. We had a huge spike, and the State Tax and Revenue Department will send us our, quote, share of the gross receipts tax every month. Let me back up a little bit here. So you as a merchant, you as a business, you have a transaction occur in July, in the month of July.
Gotcha.
You have to pay the state all of the gross receipts goes directly to the state by, I think it's the middle of the month. So that would be the July transaction, payment to the state in August. And then 1 month later, September, the municipalities and counties get our portion of the gross receipt. Now, out of that 7.8% gross receipts we have here, 5.5% is the state. And a portion is the county. And in cities around 1.25 or 2.25, I'll have to double check that. The state does not tell us who paid what.
Right.
And sometimes we get a little bit of money, and sometimes we get a lot of money, but they won't explain anything.
Gotcha.
So September 20, we got this incredible $5 million. We usually run roughly around $3 million a month.
Okay.
So we got this $5 million. No explanation. No clue. We got another big bump, not as big, in November, and we go on.
Okay.
Now, it's
not like we're worried that we get a refund from the IRS and we're like, what am I getting? Should I hold on to this in case they want it back?
Well, that is a legitimate concern because they also have the right to say, oh, we've screwed up. We're not going to give you anything this month to make up for the money. And so that's where really the reserves come in.
Okay.
I would say the reserves are more critical to protect us from the gyrations at the state, at tax and rev, than anything else. We have no way of knowing what those folks are going to do. We have no access to the data they have. It's Santa Fe,
Gotcha.
and it's the Santa Fe crowd.
Which obviously that doesn't. I mean, it's government funding. That all should be as transparent as possible from the very top to the very bottom. And unfortunately, that's not what's going on. Which, well, you can do the math and figure out why New Mexico is the way New Mexico is, and that's one of the many reasons why New Mexico is the way the New Mexico is.
So, as was taught very long time ago, the definition of should is ought to, but not necessarily will.
Very good. But yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, we really talked about that, but we were expecting the worst there, and to be honest, I think
no, we didn't.
For that first year, obviously numbers were skewed, but
everybody went to Home Depot.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm wondering if it's kind of picked back up. I mean, certainly, I think tourism is over the summer we had great crowds and things coming through and shopping and all that. So I was like, I'm thinking we're doing okay there. So that's good.
So that was an hour. Well, okay, it was 57 minutes. It was an hour. Anyway, we got it, and then we got into the meat of the meeting. First item up was actually pulled off of consent by Councilor Oropesa, and it was the Chaves County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Ms. Karen Sanders, who's the Emergency Services Coordinator, wonderful lady, gave a nice brief. Basically, we're required to do this plan every 5 years.
Okay.
That's what this was. It deals with natural disasters. Councilor Oropesa doesn't this cover the pandemic? No. This covers natural disasters. Tornadoes.
Hurricanes. If we ever get one of those.
We don't get one. Tornadoes, snowstorms.
Although if we get one, that would be a disaster of natural proportions.
That would be incredible. Flooding, those kind of things.
Earthquake, whatever, yeah.
So that was explained, and we thanked her, and then we bebopped on to the rest of the agenda. Admiral Beverage Company, they're building a brand new warehouse down there at Southeast Main and Brasher. It's huge. That thing is monsters. They got that little one over there on Atkinson, right at McGaffey.
Mm-hmm.
So they're building this monster
And aren't they kind of the hub for Southeast New Mexico?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that they're servicing Eddy County and everything out of there. I think. But
and so what they're building is this. And so what it came up is we're doing a program called Industrial Revenue Bonds. Go ask your accountant to explain it because we don't have enough time on this radio show. But this resolution is basically to say, yes, we the city intend to issue industrial revenue bonds. So we had some presentation from the folks at Admiral Beverage, and they kind of gave us an overview on what's going on. And I'm telling you, this thing is, they showed us what they built in Albuquerque. This one's not going to be quite as big, but it's still going to be very big.
Gotcha.
And the point is that this is not the final agreement. This is, let's go forward, city staff. So city staff now has to do some more things. And there's a lot of paperwork. We have to do an ordinance. We have to do another resolution. We have to do agreements, all kinds of stuff.
I'm just curious because ultimately it's the state that issues the license one way or another. So in essence, are you guys in the point where it's Admiral Beverage and the city putting the package together to present to the state, or is it them proving to you guys that you're worthy of it, and then you go to Santa Fe and say, this is what, how does that all work?
No, when you think about license, you're thinking of the liquor. That's already been dealt with.
Okay.
This is a tax minimization option that allows Admiral Beverage to, shall we say, optimize or minimize their tax situation. And, excuse me. So we ended up having it's a $9 million project. So it's not as huge by any means as Loprino's was. Loprino was like $120 million.
Gotcha.
But this is still a significant investment in our community. Councilor Moore voted no on this. Now, that is an alcohol distribution center. We don't know if that's the reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we moved on from there.
Okay.
Budget adjustments came. This once again is a monthly house cleaning thing. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Some new things come up, like, for example, we get an insurance payment for a wrecked vehicle or whatever. That's additional revenue we had not anticipated. We have an expenditure to, say, repair the vehicle. That's something we had not budgeted. That's an adjustment there.
Gotcha.
So these things are going through day in and day out. And then once a month, we have to adjust the budget that we passed and send this all up to the state.
Gotcha.
The state watches us like a hawk. They do this to everybody. And, it's good and bad. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind the oversight, but
you wish that that was on both sides.
Yes.
That's the only thing. It's like, all right, you hold us to these standards. Why can't we hold you to the same standard? Or you're being held to the same standards as we are from the feds or whomever,
So we dropped a resolution dealing with site planning. Staff is going to deal with that administratively. And then we moved into zoning, proposed ordinances. We're going to deal with temporary signs. We're gonna fix our sign ordinance. Basically, what we're going to do is acknowledge the reality that the quote right of way, which supposedly is owned by the city, which is owned by the city,
right,
but which is maintained by the property owner adjacent to it. And think of that space between the sidewalk and the curb that you mow. That space is technically not yours; it is the city's, but you're responsible for maintaining it. Oh, go figure. So our ordinance, as it exists, prohibited signs in that area. But the problem is that's where all the signs go. I mean, and not just political signs. It's like the signs from Grace Church or from
the high
real
schools.
estate.
Yeah, I got a football player here or whatever. Yeah.
So we're changing that to authorize temporary signs by the property owner, not anybody, but only the ones who lives right there.
Okay.
So that's in the process. That was an authorization advertised. We will vote on the final ordinance next month.
So in essence, would someone need to get permission to put something in front there? And so if say you're running for office, you say, "Hey, can I put a sign in the median here or whatever you want to call it in front of your house?" They still have to get the owner's permission.
Yep.
Gotcha. Very good. Okay.
Then we had an ordinance adopting or proposed ordinance. We're going to have a public hearing next month on amending our Clean Air Act to accommodate the new stuff we have with A, vaping, and B, marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So went over that. That was approved, except for Councilor Sanchez voted no. Once again, I think, I shouldn't, I'm not going to speculate. Councilor Sanchez, every councilor votes how they choose.
Sure.
And my position is I will never ask them why.
Sure.
You as a constituent may, but that's inappropriate for me to ask.
And if you ever pay really any attention to city council and things, they, a lot of times when you see someone voting, it's because of, like you said, it's something that they morally oppose or something, and they've said that, and they consistently vote that way, and then at least, all right, well, at least I know that's where they stand, and so that's why you vote that way. And to be honest, if you live in those wards, that's your right. Ask and say, hey, I'm curious, why do you vote no on that? And they should give you a reasonable answer because they are your representative. So
that's true.
Yeah.
So then we just really started into rocking and rolling. Things like a new roof on a building out at the Air Center, new lease for Head Start at down there in McGaffey. We redid an award for the janitorial services. That one got a couple no votes, or Pesa, and I don't have who else voted no. Sorry. New HVAC control system. It turns out more than just the
more than thermostat.
And boilers and all kinds of other stuff.
I figure, but that's why I'm not an HVAC.
Boy, wouldn't you make it? You make a killing out there. All right. So this is at Sidney Gutierrez Middle School, which is the old, I think it was the old NCO club or the old officers club at Walker.
Okay.
1,000,000 years ago.
Well, is it real nice? It was probably the officers club.
Yeah, it was probably really nice back. It had a swimming pool, but that's been filled in for 20 years.
That's probably the O club. NCO club was not as nice as the O club.
Gotcha. So, interesting little tidbit on this one: the offer from Rhodes to do all this work was $98,000 and change. So that expired on December 29th. Prices had gone up.
Yeah.
So we had to adjust this by about $3,000. So the final is just under $102,000, but it needed to be done, and so, bam, we're working on it. Scope of work for security services at the Air Center. Once again, this is required by the feds that there be armed guards, not inside where TSA does the check, but outside.
Out the perimeter there.
So we're going out with the request for proposal. We got that okayed. Then two exciting, what we call them task orders. Let's explain this again. We have a company called Armstrong Consulting. Mm-hmm. Armstrong Consulting is on contract with the city. The FAA actually requires large air centers to have engineering consulting firms under contract.
Gotcha.
So we get them. We actually get some money from the feds. That helps cover all this. But they're just consulting at that level. Now, to do some real work, then we have what's called a task order, and it comes in and gets signed off. But because it's over $60,000, it has to go to the council.
Okay.
So in this case, the first one up, we call it Task Order D, was for the design and construction engineering services connected to the large hangar project.
Yes.
Now, in about an hour, I'm going to be part of a weekly conference call where we check on the status of this. This is the large hangar, the fabric covered hangar for the 777s.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited about this. Really looking forward to getting this moving forward.
Sure.
We had some complications, unnecessarily complicated funding, I believe, but that's the way it is in this state. Nothing happens easily.
Yeah.
The good news is we're past that. We're now rocking and rolling and moving forward.
This is kind of really looking at as a first step of many of really opening up the opportunity for some real airline industry companies and things to come into this area and set up shop at the Roswell Air Center.
Well, and here's an interesting point, too. All right, we have out there called Maintenance, Repair, and Overhaul, MRO companies. We've got AirSail, we've got Cavu, we've got General Aviation, and Ascent is coming. So if another company wants to come here, that's fine. But we have 4 strong ones here now.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're attempting to do, because we're looking at enlarging Hangar 84 where Cavu is to give them more flexibility so that we want them to have more customers.
So they can expand their operations in our facilities.
Yes. And
Gotcha.
so we don't need more MROs.
Gotcha.
I don't believe.
We just need more infrastructure for our current companies that are calling it home.
Now, if somebody comes and says, "Hey, I'm what's the name of the other one? Skipped my mind." But there's another large MRO outfit out there. If they came and said, "Hey, we'd like to be in Roswell," we're not going to say no.
Yeah, we're just like, we'll find a spot for you.
Yeah, we will find a spot for you. Trust me, we will.
But we're trying to make happy the folks that already call it home. I got you. Makes sense.
This is a 1.33 million.
Okay.
For this work. Then the next task order, which is very different, it was about for a little over 500,000, is to do the engineering design for redoing the ramp space around the terminal and to the west towards what we call our general aviation area.
Okay.
That's the area that needs to, that's some old asphalt there, needs to be redone. And so that's
just funny to say. It's some old asphalt there.
Yep, old asphalt. Bam. So we got that. Excited about this. These are, we're doing a ton of work out there. We got a lot of money coming in from the feds that is really helping us with this stuff.
Well, that air center, that's a linchpin for us.
It's the third leg. We've already got a very strong oil and gas industry here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a very strong agricultural community because of water.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to build on the third leg, which is, in my estimation, aviation. This is something I've been preaching for 8 years now.
Well, in communities like this, let's face it, it's not unheard of to be, one-trick pony towns, oil and gas or whatever. And Roswell's in a unique situation where if we play our cards right, regardless of the financial world that's going on, we're pretty stable regardless because we got a three-leg stool here instead of a one-legged stool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you nailed it. Final item up we had was a number of measures, about $700,000 for upgrades at the zoo. Now, these included some design work that was like for our new entry. Leprino Foods, one of our partners, has committed to a $2 million donation.
Oh, nice.
For the farmland experience. That's going to be a new entrance, so we got to do the design work for that. We have some additional funding that we have from the feds that will go towards that. But in addition, we had some security upgrades, some fencing that needs to be done. And there was Mr. Wright, the new zoo director, who gave the presentation. Neat guy. Get out there sometime, go through the zoo, meet him. That passed 8-1. Councilor Orpesa was kind of throwing rocks at it, saying, well, we should spend this money on streets. And, okay. We could throw everything at streets and leave everything else to rot.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Sure.
And obviously the council didn't either.
Gotcha.
So we're using some of our federal money for this, not a huge amount, $700,000. But we're actually going to help make that a better experience, and we're excited about that.
Good.
Well, and upgrading. Oh, we're also going to upgrade the bear exhibit
facility there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And Mr. Wright's got some great ideas about this. Very exciting. And we're going to be doing some wonderful work out there.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see and getting. So keep making plans to check back regularly at the zoo there. And see some new stuff.
So we actually had a few more presentations from Mr. Nebb and. At the end, and we were done by 8:20, so it was like amazing.
Nice. Well, good deal. Of course, if you missed any of the meeting and you want to watch it, it's available at your leisure. Go to the City of Roswell's website, roswell-nm.gov, and there's an archive of since a couple of years worth, I think now of
we actually have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that'll link you the actual website will link you to the YouTube channel.
And it's We Believe Studios.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Little alien theme there.
Yeah. It's really kind of pretty cool because we also have little explanations like how do you do your water bill online.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have those things, and we have other presentations from different staff members on things and how they're working.
So if you want to learn more about city services or
Absolutely.
tutorials on, like how to pay your water bill or something like that, you'll find those videos on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Which again, you'll find a link to the city's website there too.
Yep.
Very good. Well, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate the visits and the updates. We'll see you here next time.
Yes, sir.
And anytime we need on for anything we got to talk about city related, just give me a holler. We'll make
I'll
it
do
happen.
that. Well, appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend and enjoy your next meeting. And your green chili. Now, you went sausage.
Yeah.
Have you had the green chili on just the regular with the Canadian bacon?
No.
No? See, I'm a Canadian bacon guy.
Really?
I'm a fan of it. I mean, I love sausage. They're all part of the party to me, but
no, I just
try it on the Canadian bacon once. I think it's a good, smooth heat texture combo there. Sometimes the sausage spices get in the way, and the ham or the Canadian bacon lets it flow through. So. All right, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell Talk FM, KEND or Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News up next.
Setbacks and defeats, a really bad week. Some of the ways the media describes how things have gone for the Biden administration this week. First off, the president failed to convince Democrat Senators Manchin and Sinema to agree to kill the filibuster. That would have cleared the way for radical changes in voting laws sought by the Democrats.
Sinema took to the Senate floor to reassert her long-standing support for the 60-vote threshold. Though a rules change would benefit her party in the short run, Sinema told colleagues, quote, I will not support separate actions that worsen the underlying disease of division infecting our country. Fellow moderate Democrat Joe Manchin also reiterated his long-held defense of the filibuster, saying to end it would, in his words, pour fuel onto the fire of political whiplash and dysfunction that is tearing this nation apart. Bob Agnew reporting.
In another setback for Team Biden, the Supreme Court striking down the COVID vaccine mandate for many private employers.
I think it was a great day for America. It was a great day for our freedoms and liberties. And it was a great day for our small businesses who are going to be crushed with this vaccine mandate.
Job Traders Network President, CEO Alfredo Ortiz, telling the Salem Radio Network.
To think that there were fines up to $140,000 that were associated with this mandate is just unbelievable. I mean, this administration is completely tone deaf to the plight of small businesses in this country.
The administration did manage a lesser win when the Supreme Court upheld a vaccine mandate for healthcare workers at facilities that take federal funds. Someone has launched a massive cyber attack on Ukraine's government, suspicion falling squarely on the Kremlin. Disappointing retail sales report. Sales tumbling almost 2% last month from November, driving the Dow lower this morning. Right now, the blue chip index down 245 points. The S&P 500 index off 13, the NASDAQ 19 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Downing Street apologizing to Buckingham Palace for 2 staff parties at number 10 the night before Prince Philip's funeral and during a COVID lockdown. The BBC's Vicky Young in London.
I think in the end, all Downing Street can do at this stage is to apologise and to keep apologising. So yes, it's unusual. We understand it would be this apology through the usual channels. That would mean it was officials from number 10 speaking to officials in the palace and apologising for all of this, because I think they just know how bad this looks. They know that people are very angry about it, and there will be certainly lots of conservative associations around the country who are particularly angry and will feel that this causes an awful lot of offence.
China further tightening anti-pandemic measures in Beijing and across the country. Scattered outbreaks continue ahead of the opening of the Winter Olympics in Beijing. News and analysis, townhall.com. Cost of borrowing for a home continues to rise.
The rate's at their highest level since March 2020. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac reports that the average rate on the benchmark 30-year home loan rose to 3.45% this week from 3.22% last week. A year ago, the rate at 2.79%. Mortgage rates have been expected to rise this year after the Federal Reserve announced last month it would begin dialing back its monthly bond purchases, which are intended to lower long-term rates to slow accelerating inflation. John Scott reporting.
North Korea has launched yet another ballistic missile, the third such launch this week, according to Japan and South Korea, which say the missile landed in the sea. Novak Djokovic may be deported from Australia, missing the Australian Open and a dust-up over COVID vaccination status. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow down 248 points, the S&P is off 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce?
Yeah.
The Deuce.
It's Friday. It's the Deuce.
It's the Deuce. I blew the board right before. I just touched the microphone and just heard everything explode.
Oh, yeah. No, it worked. On my end, it worked just fine.
Yeah? Didn't make your little hairs on the back of your neck stand up?
Nope, they just stand up anyway. They're just up.
I styled them that way. You have no idea how much mousse goes into this look.
There's a special product called Little Hair Mousse.
Little Hair Mousse.
And you can get it. It's
little
in the
tiny
back.
bottles.
And it's LIL Hair Mousse.
Hair Mousse. Look for the tiny mousse on the bottle.
That's right. Ask for it by name. Wherever you find other small products.
Where you find other small hair products. fine hair products, I guess. For the fine hairs.
That's right.
Dad joke?
I got it.
Wow.
I smell what Sean's cooking.
No, that's the hash brown.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of hash brown.
Yes.
I haven't had one yet. I'm about due for one. Big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. They, as always, provide delicious breakfast treats. With green chili today. Tanner got the big old tub of green chili, so if you want to, slather up your sandwich with the... Have you tried the green chili with the hash brown?
You know I haven't.
Maybe get a spoonful to put it on the hash brown?
I'll be back.
I think he's like, I'll be right back. Don't use the spoon and put it in your mouth. That's just gross. But big thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. Got to tell people these things. But big thank you to McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. If you're hungry, swing by any of your McDonald's here in town. The South End coming soon. And don't forget to get that app. Download the McDonald's app to your smartphones. And that way you can order through the app. You can have it picked up through curbside, through drive-through through, or pick it up at the counter and sit down and enjoy your meal.
Indeed.
All right, you got a spoonful of green
nice little dollop of the green on here. I always like the green that starts to redden a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Like we know it's going to be good.
A little bit of paper in there for fiber. That is amazing.
I could tell it was potatoes and green chili are like,
oh my God,
like chocolate and peanut butter. They just go together,
I mean, I'm sure everybody knew, but
everybody but you.
Yeah. Well, you don't think to, order green chili in the morning, but yeah, order green chili in the morning. This will wake you up.
There you go. You went with a second spoon, so that tells you it's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's good. If it goes for a second spoon, that means it's good.
Let's watch and see what happens.
How hot's the green chili day, by the way?
It's a little warm. It's got some kick to it.
Okay. I know she got a little quieter, so I thought maybe it's got some heat to it.
A bit. Well, mouthful. Mama taught me well, not too well, but
Mama gave me some manners, not all the manners. Well, for a second I thought he zoomed in while you were eating. I was like, wow, he wants to see the whole chewing process there.
I always think about when I'm over here, I'm safe from the camera. But no. Tanner finds me.
He stretches it.
Of course he does.
And look, he's got the
it's not even a good angle. It's like that. It's like square on.
It is square on.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Look at
that. Need some profile.
We do have a full action-packed hour. For you
zoom
today.
out and show the guest, Tanner.
He's like, I don't want to. I'm supposed to see you eat. We got, there it is. There we go. County Manager Bill Williams is here with us. He'll join us because yesterday the Chaves County Commission met a week early.
Mm-hmm.
And because, is it legislative session related?
Legislative session is coming up next week. So we have to get everything out of the way so we can all be up there and shake our heads and wish we were back home.
Sit there and just be like, dang. But so they met yesterday. So we'll get the recap there from Bill here. Sheriff Mike Harrington will join us as well here.
Unless there's emergencies, which is always a possibility.
It is very possible the sheriff and undersheriff get pulled away quite often to handle
and often
business.
at the very last minute,
Yeah. Unfortunately, criminals don't work around their schedule.
No.
They don't check in and say, hey, I'd like to commit a robbery later today. Are you free?
Just a suggestion, though, to criminals, if you happen to be listening, don't commit your crimes on a Friday morning because the sheriff gets extra upset if he misses out on the free McDonald's.
Right. I'm just saying.
He's going to be aggressive.
If you let him get a, although they're on keto now, both of them.
Oh, that's
so
true.
But they can have the green chili.
They could.
Oh, see, that's why they need to come in here so we can see their update because I'm curious to see the slim down.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it's one of those that really it'll really, if you stick to it, it'll kick you.
Yeah, and I would think just the 100 pounds of equipment they wear would sweat off a few pounds right there.
Makes my back hurt just watching them walk
And I'm like,
by.
man, what does it take, an hour for you to get dressed, putting all that stuff on? Good Lord. It's literally like watching a Marvel movie with Iron Man showing up and putting all the things on. It's like, oh, that's a left boot. Dang it. You can't tell with these Iron Man suits if it's a left or right shoe. They look the same.
The whole thing on, you're like, crud, the cod piece. We got the cod every time. The cod piece.
I got to take the thigh piece off to get to the cod. Oh.
Jarvis.
I learned so much here. I come in. Oh my God.
Well, if nothing else, we provide a service.
Yeah,
you absolutely
we do act
provide a
in the public
service.
This is true.
Just a reminder, this is unrehearsed.
Oh, yeah,
this is how they are.
Yeah, we just we just call this Friday. This is what we do. You should hear us off air. It'll be amazed we get work done, to be honest. You know what? And I keep talking about Letterkenny, but go watch an episode of Letterkenny. And that's kind of just too. I mean, we don't have the Canadian accents and go with the 70,000 puns, but that's kind of what we do all day. Sit around and work, obviously.
Right.
But when we're not doing that, we talk about things and people are like, what?
Stop showing our hand. Stop it.
But we have conversations that if you just walk in the middle of, you're like, what is that going on?
I've walked into out of context conversations in this office so many times and been like, Wow, potato. No, people have asked me, like, in certain series, like, what's a good standalone episode? Like, if you're going to recommend one episode to somebody who's never seen a series before to kind of give them the gist of what. And my recommendation for Letterkenny is if you go on Hulu, it's, I want to say season 4, and it's the spelling bee episode.
Okay.
The folks in Letterkenny decide to have a spelling bee.
I think it's later.
It might be season 5.
I think it's in 5.
Either way, that is like a perfect standalone episode to explain the crux of the. I mean, it's the guys at the table. It's the breakdown of the whole spelling bee. You kind of meet all of the characters. I mean, yeah, you don't know everybody, but you kind of get the gist of what everybody's deal is.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a funny episode.
It's the best.
They're all good. But anyway, that's kind of how we are. It is 8:14. I guess we should probably get you up to date with some weather. I got good news, sort of. Today's a mixed bag. It's going to be warm, but it's going to be windy. And then tomorrow's cold. There's your weather. Time for commercials. No, I'm just kidding. Here's your weather update. You got a window? Open it.
You got to do a podcast called Summon It Up with Mike.
That's right.
The Avengers series? It was all right.
I can sum up anything in 3 sentences. Here's your weather. That's only 1 sentence.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm today, but get ready for a big drop in our daytime temperatures by tomorrow with a cold front heading into eastern New Mexico. Sunny today and windy, our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, then getting cold overnight, mid 30s, windy and partly cloudy. Saturday looks like a sunny day with our high in the mid 40s. We're back to the 60s and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 35 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42%. Winds are calm at the moment. We do have a red flag warning today. That's going to kick in at 11 this morning and remaining in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. And that's because that wind thing I was telling you about. Mostly sunny today. Highs of 73. That's the good news. But it will be breezy. Northwest winds this morning, 5 to 15. Those winds will increase later, 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour this afternoon. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 27. They use the term blustery. That's their term, not mine. Blustery with a north wind 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds will decrease some, 15 to 20 after midnight tonight. Saturday, that brings us cooler temperatures. So we're going to be 73 today, 48 for a high tomorrow. Sunny, though, with north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Chilly one, overnight low of 21 with southwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and 67. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. And then for your Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, Monday, sunny skies, a high of 63 degrees there. All right, it is 8:16. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break here, about a 3.5-minute commercial break. We do have County Manager Bill Williams here with us. We'll chat with him. Sheriff Mike Harrington may pop in as well, so he'll join us whenever he can. So that's what we got going on. But Bill Williams here, we'll definitely be talking to him next. Don't go away.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
March 1st is the day I've been waiting for.
The Super Bowl is in February, honey.
No, on March 1st, we vote Mayor Kintai out of office.
Isn't that the truth? Roswell can do so much better than Kintai.
You think? On his watch, fees went up everywhere. At the adult center, at the zoo, even at the veterans cemetery.
Not to mention the murder rate has more than doubled the past 4 years. And Kintai proposed that $35 million public safety complex with no plan and no land. Thank goodness we rejected that boondoggle.
Well, luckily, Tim Jennings is running for Roswell mayor.
That's right. Tim's the man for the job.
Tim Jennings is a leader. He served Roswell honorably in the state Senate and delivered.
He'll keep taxes and fees low and fight crime by putting more officers on the streets.
Mayor Tim Jennings. I like the sound of that.
Honey, I'm putting Vote for Tim on the calendar for March 1st.
It's a date.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, So Easy Sewing finally has our most popular sewing machines and sergers back in stock. We have the Zest, our entry-level machine, on sale for $149. We have the Amazing Jazz 2, which boasts a 12-inch throat, on sale for $7.99, and our number one selling Verve sewing embroidery combo machine on sale for $9.99. All machines include lifetime instruction on the use of the machine. Hurry in to 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell to claim your new machine before they're gone. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
Happy New Year! Isn't that what we usually say this time of year? But is happiness what we really need? Maybe it would be better to wish each other a joyful New Year, or a contented New Year, or peace-filled New Year, or maybe best of all, a COVID-free New Year. Joy, contentment, and peace, that's what the world really needs. We're coming off a crazy time of year when our world should be most focused on joy that comes from Jesus. But instead, we turn to a time of anything but contentment. In the book of Romans, Paul offers up this blessing in verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Wouldn't that be a better wish for our world for a new year? From our family to yours, we wish you a joyful, contented, and peace-filled new year.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has one less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, County Manager Bill Williams with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
And just so we know, we did get a text from Sheriff. He's got some. He's busy.
He's delayed, or
I guess criminals did not heed our advice.
Yeah, I know. We just got through telling them, hey, make an appointment.
That's right.
Do your crimes.
Yeah, and so we can get this scheduled
after 10. You know, when I'm done.
So apparently they didn't take heed to that. So Sheriff's busy this morning.
I hope when he catches them, he just locks them up for a little longer.
That's right. Hey, you inconvenienced my day. I was supposed to be on the radio this morning.
What a mess. And that Mays Lumber ad was really good. You sit here and you don't always hear the ads and everything, and then talking about the wood stuff that they have over there. That is the place to go. I don't know if you're a woodworker, but if you ever need to,
I know they got a lot of woods,
exotic woods,
hard to pronounce. Yeah.
Well, and Richard knows where every single thing is over there too, and that's pretty amazing too. Just go and try them and say, "Hey, Richard, I need a doorknob for a 1946 sloggy door."
And he's like,
"Oh yeah, there's one over here."
Yeah, that is true. I've seen that
building.
I've witnessed that myself, where
he just really has it. And Mary Jane, if Richard can't find it, Mary Jane can find it.
Because they do.
If Mary Jane can't find it, you don't need it.
And they have so much stuff.
Yeah.
And to the person at the lay, you're just like, holy, how do you know what's going on here?
Yeah.
And to them, it's a system, and they got it down.
Yeah.
But the rest of us, you're just like, oh, I don't know where to start.
I mean, I really do. I love going there, but I'm kind of a hardware store guy anyway,
But absolutely. But yeah, I know I've been doing those hardwood ad commercials, and I'm like, how do you say this one? Babinga? Babinga? I don't know. Yeah. So, they carry all those exotic woods. Mm-hmm. Bloodwoods and something called Bablinger or something.
Yeah, Babinga.
Babinga, that's it.
No, they have some really good stuff, and it's fun to go dig through it and
good deal.
Save up your pennies to buy it. It is exotic wood for a reason.
Yeah, it's like you go to the caviar store, you're not going to get cheap caviar. You're going to get the good stuff. So
right.
Now, Bill's in a week early because of County Commission met a week early because of the legislative session.
We're going
underway.
to the legislative session next week.
Yeah.
And as I said, we're going to all be up there shaking our heads, wondering why we are up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, now we got a 30-day coming up next week. I do want to just put bees on bonnets. I haven't locked down time yet, but tune in Monday. We're going to get Greg Nybert, state representative, to join us before they're actually all heading to Santa Fe. I think after lunch on Monday. So we're going to get them on the radio, and I know it'll be at least Greg joining us, and we'll kind of see what they're expecting going into their trip to Santa Fe here. So.
Well, he's always he has so much information. I just love to listen to him.
Yeah,
he's got it figured out. Got it down.
He's got his finger on the pulse of everything, and the good, the bad, the ugly. He's got the info for you. So so Greg will join us on Monday. I got to lock that down here after the show. So, but County Commission did meet yesterday.
Yeah.
So was this a pretty big agenda? Pretty light, somewhere in between?
It was really pretty light because it's kind of more housekeeping in January. We do things like the very first thing that we do is we elect the chairman and the vice chairman.
Yes.
Because if it changes, they literally get up and change chairs right at that point. So all you get to do is open the meeting, ask for the pledge, and then you're out.
All right.
But this year we actually reelected Chairman Cavan.
Okay.
And also Vice Chairman Bilberry. We're both asked to do it for another year.
They figured they did a good enough job, and everyone else did the nose thing, not it, and Will forgot to do it last, and you're president again.
Not it. So Commissioner Cavan is our chairman for another year, and Commissioner Bilberry is our vice chairman for another year. So that's the very first thing we do. And then also in the January meeting, we have our obligatory resolution stating that we are going to follow the Open Meetings Act. So every county commission meeting will be advertised appropriately. Mm-hmm. We will have the agenda out at a certain time. And we also do the one for the Indigent Health Care Hospital Board at the same time. So the IHC meetings are quarterly on the third Thursday as well. And we also put in a list of when we expect the county commission meetings to be. But just like this January meeting, depending on when the legislative session is, sometimes that has to be adjusted.
Sure.
Or if something else comes up.
Usually once or twice a year, there's a reason why the meeting needs to be pushed up or back a week or two.
And year before last, of course, COVID. We
put a wrinkle in everything.
Yeah, we needed to have our meetings, but we had to change the way that we delivered those to the public, and so we had some scheduling changes because of that.
And I imagine with this being an election year too, that might add a few wrinkles to needs on things for meetings like that.
It really does. There's lots of little pieces, but it's just stuff that we have to do every year just to make sure that we're doing it right.
Well, and we all talk about housekeeping and all that and minutia and all this, but really this is the yes, it's a simple, mundane. Yeah, we keep it, but to be honest, it's the backbone of how everything operates.
Well, it's kind of a reminder.
Yeah.
We need to remind ourselves every year that we do it this way for a reason. We do it this way because it's a statute requirement.
Sure. Yeah. But it's almost kind of a like a reaffirming of this is what we're committed to do. This is how we're going to do it. And come hell or high water, this is how it's going to happen.
Right.
So, and that's just a reaffirming.
And we a few times a year have a budget adjustment, but usually we have a budget adjustment after the first of the year. Because, we plan our budget, start planning at about March, and then we have our interim budget, which is approved. And then after July, the final budget's finally approved, after the year starts. But, you estimate, okay, I think the revenues are going to come in at about this price or this amount, but we don't want to overestimate because we base everything on what comes in.
Sure.
So we try to be careful with that. And then the finance committee takes a look at it and they say, I think we need to be even more careful than you guys are suggesting. So they'll reduce things down. And so we base our budget on what we think the money's going to come in.
Gotcha.
And then if gross receipts, if we have a good year, or in the case of this year, the internet sales tax finally started coming through. So that's been really helpful.
Some new funding.
We figured on it not showing up here at all, us being left out in the cold. And as it turns out, we ended up getting some of those funds back into Chaves County to help our people. So
that's probably
we can do a budget adjustment and say, okay, we need to adjust this line so that we're within our budget, or let them know that the revenues are up.
Maybe that's a blessing in disguise on the COVID thing, where because of COVID, they expedited making sure we get our internet sales because that's the way the world's working right now. I mean,
actually, I don't think they expedited. I think they kind of drug their feet because of the internet sales, but
they were forced to do something about it.
They were forced to do something because the ball was already rolling, and they couldn't stop the freight train. But at the same time, they did slow it down a little bit so that they reap the rewards a little bit better.
And like, if for those that were listening last night, we had the mayor on talking about the city and all that, and just like the county, that they're looking at their midterm because it is the middle of the fiscal year right now. Not even though it's January on the calendar year, but usually mid-year fiscal year, they all right, how are we doing on our budget? We need to adjust anything, and in essence, that's what the county's doing, the exact same thing.
Exactly, and like I said, the internet sales tax finally made it over here. And, I made some kind of rude statements there about them dragging their feet and intentionally retaining that money for a little longer. Later in the program, I want to talk about our legislative priorities that we have as an New Mexico counties. All the board gets together, determines what our biggest issues are. And there are some of those issues where the state is not passing the money along or paying their fair share. So that's some of our stuff. But before we get into all that, we had some really exciting stuff happen.
Good.
As you're aware, New Mexico Military Institute volleyball team, the ladies played in the national championship game.
Yeah.
They went into it with a 20-game winning streak, and they played 5 sets. Unfortunately, they didn't quite come out on top. But, man, they put in an effort like you wouldn't believe. But got to the national championship, 20 games.
They're a strong volleyball team, and they've had a great program for years here.
Man.
And they came just this close to getting the prize.
Close. And it wasn't like they in the games that they lost that they got skunked.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They were battling each time.
They battled it.
It was down to the wire in each match.
They did a great job, and of course, the football team won the national championship.
Absolutely.
It's my understanding that no college team in New Mexico has ever won a national championship. So that honor comes to Roswell because of the
I'm glad to see the junior college went to this championship format here. I think this is the first year they've done that this season. And it's great to see the Institute already in the first year of doing this are already
on top,
making
dominating.
a statement in multiple sports here. So
they scored 24 unanswered points in the first half. They had 31 points on the board, 31-0 before their opponents scored 13 by the end of the game. But so we had 2 proclamations for them.
Good.
The New Mexico Military Institute Bronco National Champions Day in Chaves County was yesterday. And that included both the volleyball team and the football programs.
Great.
As champions of Chaves County. But I mean, the Broncos did some great things. And
so maybe everyone put on your calendars. January was yesterday, the 14th? Or the 13th?
January 13th.
So maybe get your
Bronco Champion Day.
Maybe get your NMMI uniforms, jerseys, and
I wore
sweaters.
my red tie. So I could at least have red.
Red, black, you're good to cover either way there. But absolutely, that's great to see.
No, that was a neat thing. And of course, the campus is closed, so the students couldn't really come out. They did have the general and the coaching staff,
some representatives,
some representatives, and 2 of the football players did make it out.
Good.
Of course, the volleyball coaches made it out. And they actually accepted the proclamations on behalf of the Institute Thursday morning. But Wednesday night, they had the student body, the Corps Cadets, went in and they had a program for them, letting them know about them being the national champions.
I saw, matter of fact, I think there's some footage on our Facebook page.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is. And that was a very neat thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like Forrest Gump because here it is. This is a huge, big event, something really great.
Yeah.
It's first time ever to happen. And here we are. And I had the opportunity to read the proclamation. So it's kind of like Forrest showing up. Bill Gump shows
you go out there like, what do you think, Bill? I got to pee.
Well,
you pull that move.
I managed not to do that. But I did wear my smiley face T-shirt.
Drank too many Dr. Peppers before you had to get on the stage.
But no, what a great thing for our community and way to go.
Absolutely,
that's neat. And I bet
folks, they
bring it to them again this year, I bet.
This past season, they started playing games at the Wool Bowl on Saturdays. The football team, the junior college football team. Folks, I imagine they're going to be doing that again this next season. If you got some time on a Saturday, go to a Broncos game. If you're a football fan, you're going to love it. It's a great football experience to go watch the JUCO team, the Broncos, go out and play games in that Wool Bowl, because they used to play most of their games right there in the campus. And,
right.
And it's now you're more than welcome to go to those games, but it's actually kind of cool because you're literally right in the campus there, and the chow hall's like right behind you on one spot, and and it's just the student body's there, but the Wool Bowl there is a great venue to go see that game. Yeah. So next season here, next fall, when the Broncos are back at it, go make sure you make plans to attend a game or two there at the Wool Bowl next season.
Yeah, that would be really
it's
neat.
A great. I know we carry some of on the video and all that, and that's great. But you that have the fortunate luck to be in town for it, go to the Wool Bowl and watch a game or two out there.
And watching the highlights of that game, it was just amazing. Yeah. I mean, and the records that the Institute players got, number one in the nation in this, number one rushing, number one,
And it was great. I got a chance to talk with the coaches prior to winning the championship here. And it's great because it's all us, like local, like the head coach, the current head coach there. He grew up in the system of NMMI, and, Coach Fortner, Coach Lynn, he's all part of that family, which is kind of Roswell football. It's kind of all part of that. And so really, the football product that you're seeing on the field that just won the championship is really, product of through Roswell coaches and Roswell schools and Roswell football. That's, it's very much grained in our local. So really, when the Broncos win a championship, kind of, sort of, you can like, well, that's Roswell winning a championship, and we could take some ownership on that. And that's great to see. So, yeah, I'm glad to see the team.
It's great. And I've never seen an organization that shares it with the Corps cadets.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, we're the football team and the rest of y'all bow down. I mean, no, it's us. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't play on the team, obviously, but I mean, they brought the trophy literally back for everybody.
Yeah. And it's a military school, and they've got a military mindset.
It's interesting.
We're all in it together. We're one for all for one.
Yeah.
Kind of mindset. So it's great. It's great. Well, they got a little honoring at the commission meeting yesterday. Good deal.
Yeah, that was really exciting. We also did one more proclamation for January the 26th, I think. The week of January the 26th is School Choice Week.
Okay.
So basically, parents should have the ability to choose where their kids go to school. There's so many different options and good educational opportunities out there, and parents should have the choice of where to send their kids.
Absolutely.
That's pretty simple.
I think
straightforward proclamation.
You have a right to dictate where you want your children to go to school.
Right.
And
for whatever reason, what fits you, might not fit your neighbor.
Absolutely. That's
little Johnny next door. He needs to be in reform school.
Needs a little bit more attention than maybe somebody else does. But you're absolutely right. Yeah. So that kind of just spotlights and reminds folks and says, hey, raise awareness for you do have a choice in your education. Make sure you research that.
We've got great public schools here in Roswell and Chaves County, but we also have the great charter schools and private schools.
Absolutely.
And everybody just needs to weigh those options and, like I say, figure out what works best for their children.
Absolutely. So, that's how this country works. You know.
That happens to not be broken right now.
It's no different than in a smaller scale. But when you go to the store and you're like, well, I like brand milk A over brand milk B. I'm getting brand milk. No different in your schools and everything else. I prefer, it's think about colleges. When you get how many people, you should go to my Notre Dame or my whatever it is. It's no different there. So it's, but that should be the same way from the moment they start their education till the moment they're completing their education.
Right.
That's absolute. Good deal. What's next we want to make sure we cover?
We also had a presentation from Next Era Solar. They built the Roswell and Chaves County Solar about 6 years ago, as it turns out. I didn't realize, on Pine, just off Pine Lodge Road.
Yeah.
They did that 6 years ago. We were discussing it yesterday.
Already?
Yeah.
Seems like it was last week or
maybe when they started. I don't know exactly when they turned it on, but
COVID did it to us. COVID.
Well, that's true.
COVID messed up everyone's timeline.
Timeline is messed up.
Yeah.
So they did a 70 megawatt Roswell Solar. They did a 70 megawatt Chaves County Solar for a total of 140 megawatt.
Okay.
Now they've purchased about 300 acres, or in the process of purchasing about 300 more acres just to expand it, 30 megawatt more, which will make us, of course, 170 megawatt. So, oh well, I caught it at least.
As long as when I get into gigawatts, like Marty McFly and Back to the Future, Dr. Brown, Doc Brown.
Doc Brown, there you go. Yeah. So they're going to have a increase of capability out there, and they don't have to go back through the process or anything because it's kind of within their original special use permit. They're just expanding the fence a little bit.
Okay.
They're not changing the infrastructure. They're just adding additional panels then that will tie into the thing.
Okay.
An interesting thing about that, though, is there's still industrial revenue bonds that are paying for that.
Okay.
And, Mayor Kintai was on earlier talking about industrial revenue bonds and Admiral Beverage.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference there is Admiral Beverage, they're going to bring quite a few jobs into our community.
Sure.
And so, as he suggested, there's a potential for somewhat of a offset of property tax. They still have to pay, but maybe not as much. That's
it brings
all,
more money onto the table.
Negotiated, but when you have something like Leprino with 500 jobs in the community, you can see your way clear to say, well, that's
their impact
100 acres, but we can offset some taxes, and it's going to bring so much more back to the community. Same thing. Admiral Beverage has a lot of personnel that are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
A solar farm, on the other hand, once it's constructed, you have construction jobs, and then they leave, and you have a couple of people.
Unless they get some broken panels, there's not a lot going on out there.
Right.
You just let it do its thing.
And so there's the negotiation over the pilot, the payment in lieu of taxes. And we actually had that yesterday, and I told them, the warm and fuzzy that a lot of people get with renewable energy, not that we don't feel like that's an important part of our portfolio here in Chaves County or southeastern New Mexico, but oil and gas has been our bread and butter for decades.
Yeah.
It has provided the schools, it's provided the roads, it's provided all the infrastructure
you don't want to bite
that we
the hand
have.
that feeds you.
and if the playing field were leveled, where they got the same subsidies as these other things, we'd feel a lot better about it. But we're mandated to allow them to build these renewable energy farms and stuff.
And then let's face it, the solar field, if without oil and gas, they can't build their their solar panels.
so there's the negotiation for the IRB for the payment in lieu of taxes.
Okay.
I don't think they like me very well because what do we get? The
juice has to be worth the squeeze, and you're like, where's the juice here?
The electricity and water are very much alike in that they take the path of least resistance. So if you generate some electricity over here, it's going to come out of the first receptacle that's closest to it. It's not going to California.
Right.
Although you can pay to have green energy at your place, you can pay an additional fee, and you'll get the solar energy. Well, it's actually going out here, but the power's not coming down the line this direction towards you. It's going out, so sort of an offset, but it's kind of on paper, you're getting green energy.
Right.
And my thought about that is, and this green energy that's being sold through the power lines is going somewhere like California, Arizona, Austin. I don't know where it's going.
Right.
And they actually are not to the point where they want to tell us who the final purchaser of it is.
Okay.
But in a lot of ways, I feel like, well, if you were to build a solar farm in Austin and you took that 300 acres or whatever off of the tax rolls, the amount that you pay in pilot is going to be, even if it's a reduced amount, it's going to be much more than you pay in New Mexico, where the cost of land is a lot cheaper.
Sure.
And so my take on the whole thing is, well, in a way, you're taking advantage of us. I think it has less to do with how much solar time we have and more to do with your taxes are lower, and we're going to negotiate a lower price, and then we're going to profit on that, selling it to San Antonio or California.
It's no different than companies going to China and making the product there for pennies on the dollar, and then turn around, and it's the same concept.
They turn around, and they couldn't afford the pilot payment over there, but they can come here and try to pay us much less.
Yeah.
And they started out negotiating with us. Well, we paid Valencia County this much per megawatt hour. Well, this isn't Valencia County.
Yeah.
And the overall cost, you've already got 140 megawatts here. If you take the cost 6 years later of adding an additional 30, put it with what it cost you to build it the first time, your return on investment is going to be much larger than it is for the same size solar farm that you built near Belen today, because the costs are higher. So yes, I can see that you would pay them a lower pilot payment.
Sure.
For Chaves County, you
Not so
already
much.
have something here, and we're going to negotiate it out. So we've got them to come up. So over the life of the thing, I think it's somewhere around $660,000 more. That so far we've.
So it's a fight, but you're starting to make a little headway.
We're starting to make a little headway, and that may be the best we can do. We don't know, but certainly not just saying, "Oh yeah, where do we sign?"
Sure,
has gained $600,000 because our commission is
sure
for our coffers, and that's it's not
sure
in government. That's not a huge amount of money, but doggone, it's better than just saying okay and taking it and not getting that. So,
absolutely.
So, I'm thankful that our finance committee and our people negotiate those things and don't just roll over, because, there's more to all of this stuff than meets the eye.
Well, and especially if this turns out to be a long-term thing. Which
it's 30 years.
Yeah.
The industrial revenue bonds run for 30 years. So, it's something that we have to really consider.
Yeah.
Taxes more than likely are going to increase, maybe only slightly over the next 30 years, but what is that actual value going to be in 30 years?
Sure.
Because we're locked in once we.
Well, I mean, what if something? Not that I'm anticipating this, but what if growth happens around there or something, and the land becomes more valuable than what that solar farm's sitting on there? What do we do then?
One of the things that we need desperately to do in Chaves County and Roswell is to figure out how to do the rest of the relief route. We've got the relief route on the west side, but the east side relief route has always been more complicated.
Yeah.
And there's a big push for us to figure out a way to make that happen. Well, one of the projections from 25 years ago when they built the other side was to go right through that area where is now a solar farm. So, that's not doable anymore. So, there's always things coming up 25, 30 years down the road that we don't know about. So we have to be very careful how we don't want to give up the farm,
Exactly.
And so, I'm like I say, I'm happy that our commissioners keep that in mind and
protect the best interests of the county.
Protect the best interest. And I know that the city manager says he has a crystal ball that he keeps on his desk just for those purposes. Our crystal balls, just like his, doesn't work very well. So,
not even one of them nice ones for like $100 on Amazon.
No, man. I got it out of the. On the airplane, you have the magazine that you can order stuff. That's where we got ours, and we thought it was going to be the high quality one, but turns out it's on the fritz.
I think it's still here. You laugh. We actually have one around here somewhere. I think we have a sales manager that buys weird things, and we use them. And one of them's an actual crystal ball, and it was like $150.
If I were you, Mike, I wouldn't cast stones looking around your space here and weird things.
Well, in all fairness, somebody gave me some of it. Like all my bacon related products over here are all gifts. Some of this back here a little bit more me.
No, it's great. It's a very eclectic mix, but it's great.
I got a bunch of stuff.
I like the Bob Ross. That's one of my favorites.
Bob Ross is means I loved Bob Ross growing up. That was I'm actually kind of bummed about what happened in that world now with there's a documentary on Netflix that does not portray the people that it's not Bob Ross's family, it's the partner that he had, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, really? I'll have to watch that.
Like pretty much all the Bob Ross apparel, none of that goes to the family.
Well, you might be old enough to remember. Do you remember William Alexander? He was the one that was on before Bob Ross.
He was like Bob Ross's mentor kind of thing. Yeah.
He was an elderly gentleman.
Yeah.
I was much younger than he probably wasn't as old as me, but at the time he was an elderly gentleman.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a happy little, I think he had like a little German accent or something.
Yeah.
And then along comes Bob Ross, and he kind of patterned the whole thing the same way, but man, he took it to a whole new level.
And what, if my understanding, like if you're watching that documentary, I think the family, the partners of Bob kind of messed that guy up too.
Oh, really?
Like he kind of disappeared, and they were part of the reason why.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty pretty sad to hear.
That technique is so good. I thought, well, if they can paint a painting in 30 minutes, it looks that good. Surely I can do one in 4 or 5 hours. I painted about 3, and I said, maybe I need to take the Bob Ross lessons or something before I do it.
Truth be told, he wasn't as off the cuff as people think.
No.
In those, he actually made 3 of every one of those paintings.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I'm sure we can. We're not here to talk Bob Ross, but check out the documentary if folks want to. It's pretty good.
Well, I just wanted to look at. I forgot to bring a copy of our agenda today, so I opened up my phone here so I can see what I'm missing.
See what you're missing?
Yeah. We had a couple of again kind of housekeeping things. We did our budget adjustment, approval to purchase a couple of fire trucks, and we also have request permission for the EMS Fund Act. We have to do that every year for the 3 departments that have EMS, and that would be Sierra, Midway, and Berindo.
Okay.
So is that right? Yeah, Berindo, Sierra, and Midway.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Yeah, I thought I had one of those wrong. So. But one of the other things that we did yesterday, I mentioned earlier, was the legislative priorities for Association County. So I'm going to pull up that little thing, make sure that I hit that. So
is this kind of like a wish list that the county wants, or?
Well, we want to let the legislature know these are the top priorities for counties.
Gotcha. This is the stuff we want you to
This is New Mexico counties. All 33 counties got together, the board of directors, and said, what are the most important things? And of course, we have meetings with different affiliates within the Association of Counties. So the managers affiliate, they get together and say, these are our top problems. And
because it's 33 counties, it carries a little more weight, right? Because it's a strength in numbers deal.
So the managers, they have their affiliate. They get together and decide what their top priorities are. The clerks decide what their top priorities are. Treasurers, everyone does, and then they send them all to the board of directors, who then compiles the list of these are the 3 top priorities for all of the counties.
Gotcha.
And this year, House Bill 2 priorities. House Bill 2 is an appropriations bill. And the priorities within that bill are the Detention Reimbursement Fund. Currently, the New Mexico legislature appropriates $2.3 million to house their prisoners, but they don't pay us. So we're saying, hey, come on, can you pay us what you've agreed to do?
Yeah.
We're housing your prisoners. Everybody else, if we house an outside prisoner, we make them pay the cost.
Sure, absolutely.
The counties can't hold prisoners. We don't have near the deep pockets that the state does.
Sure.
And we're responsible for housing state prisoners. They should be responsible for paying us back, but they don't do it. The other thing is we also have to transport state prisoners to the state penitentiary if they have trials. It's our responsibility to put them in a van, provide the escort and the security to the public and to them.
All the logistics involved in making that happen.
Get them to Albuquerque, for instance, for a trial. The associated cost with that. They don't reimburse us for it. Yeah. They're required to, but they don't.
Interesting.
And then there's some programs, the REACH, Intervene, Support, and Engage program, RISE program. It's a behavioral health program. We want them to fund that, like they've said that they would.
And it's not like you can just stop doing these services, because you can't.
Right.
You can't just say, well, you haven't paid, we're going to stop doing it. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, I mean, crime goes on.
Exactly.
And today may be a good example of that. The sheriff didn't show up. The undersheriff didn't show up. It's probably because one of those criminals didn't take a day off.
Yeah, exactly.
And once he has to go before a judge, someone's got to transport him. And depending on what the crime is, they may be state prisoners.
Absolutely,
So we're just saying, hey, let's be fair about this. Do what you said you would do.
Yeah, pay your
and
bills.
Right alongside with that is the Law Enforcement Protection Fund. There is a amount of money that is set aside for law enforcement, for the LEPC, LEPCF or whatever. EIEIO.
Niner. There's a niner in there.
the Law Enforcement Protection Fund, and they're not distributing that as they said that they would. So that's a second priority that we have. Another one is courthouse funding. We're asking that they create a matching fund that would help counties pay for construction and renovation of state district courthouses. The fund would begin with capital outlay request of $50 million to $100 million. It's another unfunded county mandate we'd like to alleviate in the future. We're responsible for providing that space.
Yeah.
Counties, we provide a health department. We provide cooperative extension service offices. We provide space for the judges. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that counties are responsible for providing that people don't understand. They just, this is here, and
the state just enjoys
somebody
it for
pays
free.
for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, the state gets those things for free, and we say, come on, step up and help us with this. And, Chaves County is pretty fortunate. About 16 years ago, we completely redid our courthouse, including the addition on the back. And, we're a larger county. We're conservative with our spending. And so we've got some money in the bank, and we want to make sure that we have good facilities and we don't have a bunch of deferred maintenance. So we try to keep our stuff up to date, and ours is in pretty good shape. Some of these counties don't have very many people, very big tax base, and they're still responsible for maintaining, building a courthouse. And it's some
they
crazy
got the funds
stuff.
and all that to do that. So the state should be helping. Absolutely.
I got the opportunity this week to speak at the Leadership New Mexico Connect program. That's for the people that are under 40 years old, and they came to Roswell. And I followed City Manager Joe Nebb, who did a wonderful presentation. He kind of messed me up because I got really nervous after. Man, that guy
stole your thunder.
He's on top of his game, so my presentation was probably a little less exciting than his. But still, we had a good time explaining how our governments work and how it's
you
funded.
could good cop, bad cop them. It would be like Turner and Hooch or whatever.
we were talking about how our governments work and how they're funded and everything. And the fact that there are 33 counties is one of the things I brought up, and the largest and the smallest, and the populations. Did you know that the smallest county in New Mexico went from 655 inhabitants to 545, I think it was.
Wow.
And it's 2,000 square miles of county. So,
and 500 people live in there.
Yeah. Less than 600 people in that
what
whole
county is this?
I believe it was Harding. I knew you were going to ask that, and I intentionally didn't say it because but yeah.
I'm just like, should I want to move to Harding?
So they have a tax base. I'm sure it's mostly ranch land, undoubtedly.
I could double the population
probably
by
not
showing
much,
up.
but still, they're required to have a courthouse. They're required to provide all these services, just like Chaves County. And so things that are unfunded mandates, such as
and they can't even fill the wool bowl.
Yeah, help.
They literally, the whole population, you get in the wool bowl and still have plenty of room left for
they
more
could
people.
go to Los Cerritos and have seats left over.
Exactly.
A busy evening at Los Cerritos has more people.
They can't even fill the visitor side on the
whole county. Right. So those things are really important to smaller counties, especially. I mean, they're important to Chaves County too, because, like I say, we try to be very careful with how we spend the taxpayers' money and make sure that we have the money to provide the services and step in when we need to do things, such as when the healthcare left town overnight. The previous healthcare provider for our community and it's been several years back, as you know, but they just up and left town overnight, went bankrupt or whatever. I don't know what all the causes
went high and dry on us.
But high and dry. And here we are with no assistance to people in the county that need it. And of course, that causes crime to go up. And, a lot of crime is tied to either substance abuse or mental health care. All that was gone. And Chaves County stepped forward and put forth a lot of money. And in fact, we're still subsidizing the rent for the healthcare provider in our community that's providing the majority of the mental health.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, because they really came in and stepped up.
Yeah, well, a couple of months ago, we talked about we renewed the lease on the property that we lease, and
they've been
then
a
we
real good
sublet
partner
it.
with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is a cost for that, and Chaves County, we don't advertise it on the front page that hey, we're kicking in, helping with this. But those are the kind of things that the county do that people don't always understand.
And the state should be doing that.
And we're asking, hey, state, you have a law enforcement protection fund set aside to provide monies for law enforcement. Has to be used for law enforcement. We're not using it for something else. Give it to us.
Yeah, where's it going?
You told the public that's why you're going to put it together. That's why you're going to collect the monies.
Yeah.
But then you don't give it to where it goes. That's not right.
Yeah.
So we're just asking them to do what they should be doing. Yeah.
We're out of time.
I was afraid we were. I was trying to wrap up.
Of course, we could probably even, I'm sure Will coming in here, we could talk a little bit more about it if they want next hour here too. But
yeah.
But county commission meetings, if you missed any of it, you can go back and watch it, right?
Yes.
This one's on the county.
They're all online finally. We're learning still. I mean, we're not, our IT department, of course, is very tech savvy, but the rest of us don't quite understand a lot of times. What you need, Bill, is you need to buy one of these and you need to do it this way. And we're trying to figure out how to get it as good as you guys have here. You guys have a great ability to present things.
We fly by the seat of our pants too. So,
but we're getting better. When COVID started, we had no electronic version of our stuff.
Sure.
And we've come a long way in the last year and a half or 2 years. And so I'm pretty proud of that, but there still are some hiccups along the way. But
sure,
bear with us, we'll get better.
Absolutely. And of course, you're always invited to come out. Of course, next one will be the third week of the third Thursday of the month in February.
That's correct. We should be back on schedule. Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
One last thing. Yeah. Chavis County offices will be closed on Monday.
For Martin Luther King Jr. holiday.
It's a holiday.
Very good.
So, thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Anytime. We'll see you next time, and go get some food now.
Yeah, green chili.
There you go. 8:58, quick break before news. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dennis Kintai, Mayor of Roswell. Since becoming mayor in 2014, we've accomplished a lot. We've cleaned out numerous derelict structures that spoil our neighborhoods. We've constructed a state-of-the-art aquatic center. We have built 2 new splash pads in city parks for families to enjoy. We have invested over $25 million to revitalize our air center. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Roswell has stayed open and free while we work to ensure everyone's safety. Today, we are under attack from those trying to impose Santa Fe values on our way of life. I will always fight to keep Roswell values front and center. We've done a lot, but there's more to be done. I'm asking you to vote to keep me, Dennis Kintai, as your mayor on March 1st. Together, we can keep Roswell free. This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Amid growing fears of a possible Russian military invasion of Ukraine comes word of another kind of invasion, a cyber attack on the Eastern European country.
It does seem to have been pretty extensive. A number of government ministries affected, including the Foreign Ministry, and we understand some embassies as well. Energy, education, sport. It seems to have happened across really wide swathes of the government overnight. But you sense from the statement this morning, at least what we're being told publicly, that the situation was brought under control relatively quickly.
That's the BBC's Paul Adams. Russia continuing to demand something that NATO refuses to give, a guarantee that the military alliance will not expand eastward, including into Ukraine. The Russian foreign minister says Kremlin's patience wearing thin. Moscow demands some answers by next week. A winter storm currently dumping a lot of snow on the plains will not stop there. National Weather Service lead forecaster Bob Oravec says it's heading east.
Some of the heavier totals are probably going to be western North Carolina through parts of the central Appalachians, western and northwestern Pennsylvania, and western New York State, where their totals could be anywhere from 8 to 12 inches plus. And then similar snow totals across parts of southwest Minnesota into Iowa, where totals again will be in the 6 to 12 inch range.
So wax up the skis. A snowy weekend in store for a lot of places. Rough start to the morning on Wall Street after a discouraging retail sales report. Sales slid almost 2% last month from November, and that sent stocks sliding as well. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down. It's off about 245 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index trading 4 points lower, and the S&P is down 13 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is Sebastian Gorka, and I want to invite you to join me for a powerful travel opportunity that will likely become the highlight of your year. I'm headed to Israel in November 2022 for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour of the key sites and best places meant to give you an unprecedented view of a world you've likely only read or heard about. Together, we'll uncover key geopolitical insights as we unpack Israel's significance on the world stage. You'll return home empowered by the experience. If you ever dreamt of visiting Israel, this is your opportunity. Come with me in 2022. For more information, call 855-565-5519 or book online at standwithisraeltour.com. 855-565-5519 or standwithisraeltour.com.
Israel's health ministry has administered a fourth vaccine dose to about 500,000 people.
Israel began administering second boosters to the most vulnerable last month, later offering them to everyone over 60. Authorities hope the additional jabs will blunt a wave of infections driven by the Omicron variant. Health ministry figures show Israel currently has some 260,000 active cases, but under 300 are listed as seriously ill, far fewer than during previous waves. Israel was among the first countries to roll out vaccines a year ago and began widely offering third doses last summer to help contain the Delta variant. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Swedish military says it's seeing increased Russian activity in the Baltic Sea, saying there are elements that deviate from the normal picture, and it is increasing the nation's military preparedness. News and analysis, townhall.com. Hundreds of thousands of student loan borrowers in line for some relief.
Navient, a major student loan servicing company, is canceling $1.7 billion in loans taken out by about 66,000 people and paying more than $140 million to some 350,000 borrowers placed into a long-term program that left them deeper in debt. Navient is settling a suit brought by attorneys general in 39 states who allege the company engaged in deceptive and abusive practices targeting students who it knew would struggle to pay loans back. Navient claims no wrongdoing. I'm Tim McGuire.
A Wisconsin court commissioner poised to decide whether a Milwaukee man accused of plowing his SUV through a suburban Christmas parade, killing 6 people, injuring dozens more, will stand trial. A preliminary hearing scheduled for today in Waukesha County Court. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. Goes down smooth every time. Happy Friday. Hope you're excited. If you're not, get excited.
That's right.
Unless you got to work tomorrow. Then
yeah, shift workers usually whenever we do like go, it's Friday, shift workers are like, shut up.
There's a big hearty screw you. I got to work tomorrow. But
in fairness, yeah. I've never got, well, okay, I have. But it's been a real long time since I've gotten to say, it's my Friday on a day that's not Friday.
Yeah.
That's a special feeling.
Yeah.
When it's like your Friday on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because then you got weekdays off. Work-a-day folk, like the 9-to-5ers, it's real hard to get business done because all the business is closed down when we're off.
Yeah.
So
this
it's
is
like,
true.
yeah.
So like on a Tuesday morning, you're getting everything done.
Yeah, you folks that have like, your Tuesday, Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are the ones who can get stuff done.
When I was in the military, I worked midnights for most of the 4 years I was at Holloman there. So my if it was a normal 8-hour shift, it would have been midnight to 8 a.m.
Right.
That was my work schedule. The cool thing about it was Fridays. Because at 8 a.m. Friday morning, I'm off work. And sometimes, depending on workloads and flight schedules and everything, I'd get out an hour or two early.
Right.
Just depending. So here I am. I get home, say, 6:30, 7 o'clock. I go home. It's Friday, buddy. It's my afternoon. I crack a beer, and there was a lot of Fridays. 8 a.m., 7:45. I'm sitting on the balcony of my dorm there, in boxers and a T-shirt, beer in hand, saying, "See y'all. Have a good day at work, fellas."
As they head out to the office or head out to the field or whatever.
Problem with that was Sunday night, I got to go to bed at like 6 p.m.
Right. So your weekend shifts this way.
Yeah.
Which is cool because you get to kind of, experience week. And that's one of those, like, you get to kind of, like, weekday daytime TV. There's a whole new realm of entertainment that happens on daytime TV.
Well, and to be honest, because I work midnights, that was at the height of Jerry Springer.
Oh, yeah.
At 9 a.m. every morning, that was my routine. I get off work at 8, get home, get some breakfast. Fridays I'd have a beer or two. But and then I'd go to the chow hall, pick up some food, and then I'd sit down and watch Jerry Springer for a while and eat my breakfast.
And slowly drift off to dreamland, where I dreamed about cheating whores.
Yeah, but about noonish, I'd probably fall asleep.
Right.
Depending on the weather and the time of the day and what was going on. But generally, I would go to bed about noonish and get up around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
Day sleep is always the worst because roommates, I don't care who you are, roommates don't give a shoot.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a roommate. I had a suite mate. So what it was I had my own room.
Right.
But I shared a bathroom with one other person. Okay. So I had my own room, my own thing, but the guy, which would have been behind me, or I would have been behind him, depending on perspective.
Right.
He and I had a bathroom we shared. So I had to share a toilet and a shower.
Right.
I had my own sink because that was in my room with one other person, and we just and it worked out great because that guy was cool. And so him and I were friends, so we got along magically.
Having your own space is fantastic. It just always seemed like when I was working graves, it always seemed like that was midday was the time that anybody I lived with decided, I'm going to do all the loud dishes right now.
Yeah. No. See, and of course we didn't have a lot of dishes because I literally didn't have a kitchen. Right. I had a room that had it was a hotel room basically. That's what I had as a glorified.
Clean up the MRE packages. Sorry.
Well, I had a microwave in a college dorm fridge. And
the Jose Ole burrito packages.
Well, and that's just it. My last year at the base, the chow hall was getting remodeled by us, so it was closed. So they were paying us BAS, basic allowance for substance.
Okay.
They were giving us that. Normally they only give us like $5 or $10 or something
per diem.
In essence. But with the chow hall, we ate for free. So this time they said, well, since you don't have a chow hall, we're going to give you a couple $100 a month or whatever it is for food. Problem is, I have a microwave and a college dorm fridge. You can pay me all you want, but what am I going to cook it with? Right. So now, obviously, I'd be hitting McDonald's or whatever, but I learned all about making tuna helper in a microwave, and there wasn't as many microwave-friendly things then as there was today.
Right.
Like my go-tos were my Buena Casa burritos, which I could get at the commissary. They had weird flavors like chili dog.
Right, which I still to this day am dying to try.
It's delightful. And then Red Baron pizzas were a thing back then, and I had a lot of those.
Did you have a coffee maker?
I didn't drink coffee.
I know,
so
but I assumed you had like a coffee maker because you
I
could make
didn't.
ramen noodles. A coffee maker is basically a hot plate.
You're right. I just never bought one because I was like, nuh-uh. And so, but I ate a lot of burritos, a lot of steak and potato and chili dog burritos, Red Baron pizzas. And matter of fact, I wooed my wife with my tuna helper, my microwave tuna helper. because we were dating that last year too. That's when my wife and I started dating, and she would come to
That's
Roswell.
when you're like, oh, you can cook too.
Yeah, well, she would come to Alamogordo one weekend, and I come to Roswell for a weekend that last year while we were dating. So, and I had a single bed, and well, y'all do the math there.
Lots of room to cuddle. You guys are small. It's fine.
Yeah, we're short.
Yeah,
We're
you're tiny.
But yeah, so but yeah, that was my life there.
Nice.
I probably should do the rundown. And, and I've got to thank McDonald's because they are hooking us up as they do each and every Friday, providing us with delicious breakfast treats. I still haven't had a chance to eat. I've been stuck here all day. So.
There was a whole debacle going on just outside the kitchen about the hash browns.
Like,
weren't you listening? You're supposed to put green chili on that. And now it was determined that I think we need a green chili dispenser.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we get one of those?
I'm not sure if they mean like a person to dispense green chili onto things, or like a machine.
I'm thinking
that
a
you push
machine.
a button and green. That would be like at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
like with the nacho cheese.
Like where they got the nacho cheese or the mustard and relish, whatever. Something. Or
if it don't exist, then doggone it should.
We'll make it. I'm sure we could. Like, there's relish machines.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get a green chili that would adapt easily because relish and green chili are kind of sort of the same consistency. At least the chopped stuff you get like McDonald's is kind of the same sort of consistency.
Mostly the same.
Yeah, I think that's a very achievable goal.
Come on.
Green chili dispenser in every home.
R&D, make it happen.
Election cycle. I'm going to ask every candidate. Green chili dispenser in every home. Are you for it? If you're not, we're not electing you. All right, it is 9:13. Big thank you to McDonald's. Swing on by any of your McDonald's. They got you covered. And don't forget to download the app to your smartphones. They've got exclusive deals available only through the app. And trust me. And they're doing the reward system now, too. So you go in there, and if you're a frequent McDonald's shopper there, you actually earn rewards and get free stuff as you do it. So definitely give it and download that app today. All right, 9:14. Let's take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm today, but get ready for a big drop in our daytime temperatures by tomorrow with a cold front heading into eastern New Mexico. Sunny today and windy, our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, then getting cold overnight, mid 30s, windy and partly cloudy. Saturday looks like a sunny day with our high in the mid 40s. We're back to the 60s and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds currently out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Kind of a good news, bad news day for you. Let's start with good news. It's going to be sunny and 73. That's the good news. It's going to be nice and warm. Bad news is we got a red flag warning. It's going to get windy, and it's bringing in cooler temperatures. Red flag warning will take effect officially at 11 o'clock this morning, will remain in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Like I said, sunny and 73, but it's going to be breezy. Northwest winds 5 to 15 this morning, increasing 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour a little later today. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 27. National Weather Service uses the word blustery. Blustery with a north wind 15 to 25 miles per hour, wind gust as high as 35 miles per hour. With that, bringing a cooler Saturday for you. We're going to go from 73 today to 48 for a high tomorrow. Under sunny skies. Good news is wind will be a little calmer out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chilly one for Saturday night. Mostly clear skies with an overnight low of 21. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Good news is we warm back up on Sunday. Sunny skies, a high of 67. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. And then for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, expect sunny skies with a high of 63. All right, it is 9:16. Let's go ahead and we're going to take about a 3-minute commercial break here. And then on the other side, we'll be joined here in studio by Will Cavan, Chavez County Commissioner. I guess newly appointed or elected president or chairman, right? Again, what's the official term? President or chairman?
Chairman of the Chavez County Board of
There
Commissioners.
you go. The charge of the commission once again. I don't know. Were you the last guy to go not it? Is that how that worked? Or?
Yeah, I've been the chair for the last 4 years now.
Yeah.
So
you got to get faster on the not it thing.
It's like maybe I shouldn't show up to the meeting.
That's right.
I don't know.
I'm sick of that day.
But right, well.
But Will Cav will join us, and then Tim Jennings, mayoral candidate, will join us here on the other side as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, pay for my lunch, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, not a faceless national company, but one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Xena Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer, and they specialize in service after the sale. They can handle all of your business and residential alarm and cameras, as well as home theater installation, all with contracts on your terms and all from a local company. The real Xena Security Services, right here in Southeast New Mexico. Call today, 626-3521. Protection with a local touch. The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash. Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7. Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years, from in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical. Name to remember.
Don't miss out on all the high-flying action as your ENMU Greyhound men's and women's basketball teams continue their journey towards a bid in the Lone Star Conference postseason tournament. Your Greyhounds are home Thursday, January 20th at 5 and 7:30 p.m. versus St. Mary's, and continue their home weekend Saturday, January 22nd at 2 and 4 against St. Edwards. Tickets are only $5 per person. Kids 8 and under are free. Visit goeasternathletics.com for more information. Eastern New Mexico University men's and women's basketball. All in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, of course, as I teased earlier, County Commissioner Will Cavan. And, of course, also Tim Jennings joining us as well here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning,
how y'all
Mike.
doing today?
Good,
great.
Doing great. Beautiful day out there, and
it is.
As your weather forecast, let's just hope it doesn't get as windy. It would be nice if we'd get some moisture. Snow, rain, something for our guys.
Well, they were teasing us like the beginning of this week, like maybe Saturday, but that dried up about Wednesday, and so I don't know. It's New Mexico. Wait around; it'll just show up on you when you least expect it.
Right.
Well. You know, on our side at the ranch and stuff, we after all that rain we had in late May and June and all that, we haven't had any more, and so it's real dry out there, and it's crazy to have the wettest year ever, I think, and then turn back around. And
we were kind of hopeful for a good winter here, and now it's not boding so well here. So
no, it's not.
Hopefully, the mountains are getting some rain at least. Maybe I don't know. They get a little bit better weather.
I think they're getting a little more snow up on the mountain, which is good for.
That's good for us
them.
and good for everybody too, because that all comes down, doesn't it? I think some of that water eventually trickles down our way, doesn't it?
And goes over to Texas.
It does, and we
and then they steal it. Yeah.
we have a number of states that are ahead of us in the weather pattern that cloud seed.
Okay.
And we don't, and they cloud seed for their snow areas. And
Gotcha.
We don't do that, and we probably need to
maybe
see
look
what
into
we
that.
can do. Of course, it's by the time they get to us, we're pretty dry.
Well, we do live in a desert. What are you going to do? Of course, I know you wanted to join the talk. Talk a little. Actually, you want to talk NIMI first before we get into that?
Yeah, we Mike, we had a great meeting yesterday, and we got the opportunity to honor the New Mexico Military Institute Bronco football and volleyball teams. They had just amazing seasons.
Yeah.
It was Bronco Championship Day here in Chaves County yesterday, and the Institute has such an amazing status in this community. I mean, I don't think people really realize the economic impact that the Institute has for us here. I mean, probably if I had to guess, somewhere the general said it yesterday, $35 million a year that the Institute's operation between the cadets and the faculty and all these other activities that go on.
Wow.
It's a staple of this community.
Absolutely,
and it's huge. And so having them there to honor the two teams yesterday was really a special event, especially for me since I'm an alum of the New Mexico Military
And it's
Institute.
historical too, because this past season was the first year the NJCAA, I think is what it is. The junior college. It's NCAA with the junior college, basically.
Division
this is the
one.
first year they've decided to do this championship playoff format, and so and then the first ever it happens, the NMMI Broncos football team wins that championship.
Yeah.
That's in the history books forever. Who won the first JUCO championship?
Right.
The
And
Broncos.
we've had some historical players. Roger Staubach played for the Broncos back in the 60s. And so it's a great program. And I give a lot of kudos to Shelby Forstner with the volleyball team. I mean, hell, they're a
perennial powerhouse every year in junior college volleyball, and just came a nose hair short of that championship.
Take it to 5 sets. And, it was really pretty amazing. But it was really an honor to have them there and to recognize their accomplishments for the New Mexico Military Institute and the Corps of Cadets and this community. I mean, they really represented us well.
Absolutely. When COVID's all said and done, and we're back into the normal world again, that is an open campus when all that happens. I highly recommend the community go out there, see the sites at the museum or at the campus. Go see the museum. Go see maybe taking a game while you're out there. It really is a great experience, and it's right here in our own backyard.
Right, right.
The New Mexico Military Institute is probably the only university that has won a national championship in the NCAAs and the National Junior Athletic Association.
I think Bill was mentioning last hour they're the first championship ever for college in New Mexico for a national championship.
Yep.
Are the first in New Mexico now. That honor belongs to the New Mexico Military Institute.
Yeah.
So
I know, but they won that in 1952. They won that polo championship.
Oh, okay.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
they did.
Now,
a lot of history.
That's an interesting question because I've been here since 2000, so a little over 20 years now. But I used to notice, and I haven't seen it so much in the last couple of years, but if you head out towards Berendo and everything, you're down by the pecan orchards and all there, you used to see a lot of people play polo out there. I haven't seen it so much, and I'm just, now that you mentioned they were a polo championship, I wonder if that's some of the offshoot from playing polo at NIMI and things, because you don't see a lot of people playing polo, you know what I mean? And so I always thought that was interesting to see them out there on the horses playing polo and everything.
We had a lot of cadets that played at the Institute that came in this area from Midland, El Paso, and Roswell. A lot of people played polo, used to play earlier that were on some of those earlier teams that they had at polo.
I just remember driving by there every once in a while and be like, look, there's people playing polo. Look at that. That's cool.
Well, they're on the Yates property. They're off of Montana is where you're talking about.
Yeah.
So between the Yates and the Andersons and Manats and all these, that used to be one of the things down in the valley. They'd be down there playing polo or out at the Yates.
Interesting. I didn't realize there's
property
such a
and
big following for polo around here.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of lost it. I think everybody's more into pickleball now.
Yeah.
So
my in-laws certainly are. They're very, and pickleball's serious.
Oh yeah.
Like I went to one match and I made a joke, and you would have thought I just committed a faux pas. They looked at me like, "Get that heathen out of here!"
Yeah.
Like, we're just playing pickleball, right? But yeah, they don't mess around.
Yeah. Well, let's
talk some nuts and bolts.
Let's
here.
get down to business, and I wished the mayor pro tem Jason Perry was supposed to be here also.
Join us this morning, but he's unfortunately unable to.
Yeah, he's under the weather. I was glad to see him at the city council meeting last night, but you could tell
Someone needs to tell him to take a little break. He's so busy and doing 20 things. Give that guy a vacation, please.
But anyway, so we've been working, and as you know, and the community knows, the city and the county did a joint resolution to support one another on, the city's asking for $5 million and we're asking for $5 million for stuff out at the Air Center. And a little bit different, but we're looking at building the infrastructure out to the southeast part of the Air Center. And the city's, wanting to build out doghouse and all that other stuff. And we're unified on that because we think the Air Center is the big deal.
Sure.
And so Senator Jennings and other elected legislators have, but Tim has taken the lead on this, and so we had a great supposed to be in person on Friday last week with the governor, but so Jason Perry and Judy Stubbs, Mike Espiritu with the EDC, which is a key player here, the senator, and myself and Dick Taylor were all on the call, and I think the governor sees the importance of this.
Think we've made some headway up there?
Well, I think so, and I want to let the senator kind of speak to this because it's not just the Air Center. Because one of our big projects that we're looking at is 380 to the state line.
Yeah, Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead and kind of fill in the gaps there.
Yeah, when I approached the governor on it 5 years ago, not 5 years ago, but the last time, and she gave us $5 million to do that, to do the project, and we had an estimate from the city engineering department of $2 million to put the water and sewer line down. Well, that's grown to $6 million for some reason. And so, she was a little upset because we were looking at, maybe looking to get $10 million to do, we could do some taxiways in there.
Sure.
We can put
Let's fix it all
water
up.
and sewer but we supposedly we could have done it all for $5 million, but then it didn't work. So we put $3 million of the money into the new into a new hangar there that wasn't in what we were planning on doing, but in the spirit of working to get along, we did. And
sure.
And so now we're looking to do the east side and the south side of that base. And
okay.
And while we look at it, AVAX is out there looking, and they want to expand a lot here, and of course, then the city comes up and wants to take their rent increase up 400%. Well, 400 is pretty high to go up. Maybe it needs to go up some, but 400% is hard to make anybody do, especially if they're going to come back in here and if you want them to do expansion.
Sure.
People are building airplanes. If you recover airplane seats, they take them out of the planes, they fly them to Israel, and then they recover the seats and fly them back. There's no reason they couldn't go to the south side of the base and recover those seats.
Sure.
And I mean that's the kind of stuff we're looking at. If we can put the water and sewer and the power over there, and if we can do that, we can come together and have some buildings and get it all shovel ready where they can be up and running in 9 months.
Gotcha. So basically what we're kind of in the big picture here is city and the county are both like, hey, we both agree we got to make major improvements out here. We got to get this thing to being a great investment for the entire southeast New Mexico region. The difference lies in the county thinks we should go from this angle, the city's more from this angle. And is that in the big picture, that's kind of what we're talking about right now?
I think so. And I think that there's some agreement. And, you've got some parts of the city council that don't agree with that and a lot that do. But, I mean, I thought it was great that we had a pretty unified for our joint resolution to support. I mean, we had 8 city councilors that were in favor of what we were pushing
Would be a
forward.
majority even in their circle.
Right. Yeah. And so and Jason Perry and Judy Stubbs played a really big part in that.
Sure.
And Tim kind of alluded to the Ascent project. I mean, the first $5 million the county got for building the infrastructure out to the southeast side of the airport. Well, we pushed that over to the Ascent project, which is going to be huge. I mean, this is all about creating jobs. One of the things that we keep hearing is that if you build hangars, they're going to come. Well, you can't just build hangars. You got to have infrastructure to go with those hangars. You have to have those utilities to go with them.
Yeah.
And so for the southeast side, which takes us out to what used to be Mystic, is now Avex, but now you can take it across Wyo Road into the residential area and provide the water and stuff for the county residents over there, which is a win for the city of Roswell also, because now they've got another customer to provide water to.
Sure. How is and this is I guess this is just a gee whiz question, if because obviously that was a lot of that airport, everything was from the base, 40s, 50s, 60s here. These aren't new buildings and things out there. How much of that stuff's been upgraded since that time? I mean, is there a lot of that still needs to be done that's part of this, or has that been done over time? And I'm just kind of curious, like, is it pretty antiquated, some of the stuff there, or is it pretty somewhere in between state of the art and serviceable for what the industry needs right now?
A lot of the equipment, the base was built in 41.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the equipment after the war and stuff, and it was in from 41 to when they closed the base.
Mm-hmm.
And so when a lot of that was hasn't been replaced, and a lot of the metal in the hangars is rusty and stuff, and it needs a new roof on it.
Sure.
A lot of the materials, and but we're getting through that.
Sure.
We didn't have a program from the government to they just walked off and left it and said, here, this place is yours.
Sure.
And so we put our college out there and some things, and that's where we went. So
is kind of the differences where the county and you guys are kind of saying maybe we should look at the infrastructure side first before the buildings, and then cities kind of the other. I mean, I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around where the ideology difference is.
Yeah, well, for the southeast side of the airport, that's definitely the point. So, I would tell you that Mark Fisher, who had Mystic, he did a lot of great stuff out there on the city-owned building that he was in, that Avex is in now, to upgrade it. You're talking 70, 80 years of wear and tear, and you know what it's like here in southeast New Mexico.
Things don't last forever, even the good stuff made back in the 40s.
Right. But Mark Fisher did great work out there to keep that maintained and the maintenance on it and stuff. Over on that side of the area, the base had a golf course over there.
They had an O Club. The course is a golf course.
No, that's exactly right. So you
can't have an O Club and not have a golf course.
Yeah, you can drive by. You can drive along down there on Wyo Road and kind of see where
it used to be,
fairways and stuff used to be.
Was it a full 18 or like a 9-hole?
It was 18.
It was 18. It was 18 holes.
Okay, very cool.
The military doesn't skimp when it comes to golf.
Yeah. Oh, I think Holloman only had a 9-hole at the time I was there, but don't quote me on that. I didn't play much golf out there.
I caddied there.
Did you?
So I can remember that. For General Agee and General Bacon out there, we had a lot of those old guys. A guy named Bill Dean used to live down the block from me, who was a tire dealer here in Roswell on First and Main, and he'd get me to go out there to carry. They didn't always have they didn't have all the electric carts we have today.
Yeah. Well, and they're generals. They do what they want.
Right. Well, so with this stuff that we're looking at, Mike, and like I said, we've got a good group, unified group to work on these things, and this is all about building out the air center, because that's the diamond in the rough for this area. It really is, and so. We have to put politics to the side and quit making things about Republican and Democrats.
Absolutely.
And everything. I have to tell you right now, just watching the news over the last couple of weeks, God bless Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema out in Washington, D.C. and holding the line and not allowing...
Doing their duty as representatives.
Right.
You're absolutely right. I respect the heck out of that. Absolutely.
And guess what? They're Democrats, and I'm a Republican, and I appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Tim Jennings, he's a Democrat, but I appreciate him. And sometimes you have to put politics to the side when you're trying to get things done for your community.
Good ideas come from where good ideas come from, and I don't care if it was an R that told me, or a D, or an L, or a G, or whatever's out there. If it's a good idea, let's talk about it. You know, and that's I mean, and I think that's where, and I don't know if it's modern times or just the way people are raised now. I don't know, but that's where I think we've lost in politics. We've lost that. Democrats and Republicans have been, going at it politically forever. But, at the end of the day, they go, all right, let's go have a drink at the bar. Let's go, let's when it comes to talking policy, they sit down and say, all right, I know where you're coming from, but if we do this, where nowadays I feel like it's either you're for us or against us. And if you're not with us, then we destroy you. And I'm like, what happened to the phases in between there, you know, and that's, to me, that feels like part of the problem.
That's exactly right. But I want Tim to talk about one of the other big things that we've been working on with 380 to the state line, because that will be huge for this community.
Yeah, roads are something that we've always and let's face it, especially not even so much here in Chavez, but down in Lee and Eddy County, they've been fighting that fight for so long. With oil traffic and things like that, it puts a beat on these roads, and they got to expand it. So, are we getting some headway on 380 here now?
I think things are looking really good. And,
good.
In the 90s, Senator Engel from Portales and I went up and we talked with Governor Johnson, and we got him to go ahead and do the 4 lanes from Alamogordo to Amarillo, and where it's 4-lane all that way, and that opened us up a lot here, and all the way down through the valley. I mean, that used to be a 2-lane road winding down through there, and
so much has changed. That stretch between Roswell and Ruidoso, that stretch when it went to 4 lanes. Safety accidents went away because almost every year someone was dying during the summer on that road, and that's all gone the way of the dodo because of that 4-lane highway now. So that's a great thing.
And when you look, we're in the same situation right now on 380. We have a huge number of accidents, and you go from Roswell to Tatum and or the Caprock, and you've got all kinds of accidents that are happening on
I
there.
hate that stretch of road.
It's very dangerous, and it's 2-lane. You can't pass, and on race weekends and on Monday and Sunday night Texans coming over here, and then when they come back on Thursday, vice versa.
You have traffic, weirdly enough.
It's really crazy. Yeah. But if we could, there's a lot of talk about a 3-lane road there, but a passing lane. But that works some. We've got the right of way there for a 4-lane road. If we could put a 4-lane road all the way there, and we just have to go from Roswell to state line. It's about 100 miles, and if we can just get that far, if we had a 4-lane road, it would shame Texas so much that I know that they would pave the rest of the road between the state line and Brownfield, Texas.
Yeah.
And it would be a godsend for us because it opens us up to so many more avenues for people to come through here.
And really but even if, say, Texas didn't get on board, the real worst stretch of that is that stretch between Tatum and Roswell. Right. Because of the hills, because of some of the stuff. If you're not paying attention and you start whipping out, a car can come out of nowhere and you didn't realize it was, you thought you had a clear deal. It's a very dangerous stretch of highway if you're not paying attention, even more so than where it's a little flatter when you get past Tatum and everything.
Right. Well, given the time of day you're driving it, whether it's early in the morning or late in the afternoon, the sun and everything else. But, the governor has at least already appropriated funds to do passing lanes, which is great. And we really appreciate that. But with this infrastructure package that's coming from the federal government down into the states, now is the perfect time instead of just doing some
fix it all lanes, right. Yeah.
Just do it all and do it right.
This is the whole point of this infrastructure thing. Then by golly, let's do it. Whether you're for or against it, here it is. Let's do something with it.
And we have some great resources over in West Texas that we know if we get it done and get it appropriated to do on our side,
they're
going to be doing it to Brownfield from the state line.
Well, I've noticed that Texas does very good job of maintaining and being on top of most of their roads and things like that. That's you do notice a difference when you drive that state line and you hit the pavement and it's just a little bit smoother. They're just a little,
One of the guys over there ran for Congress over on the west side of Texas, and his name was Ken Hans.
Okay.
And he's very active over there in the Lubbock area. And he was very well known. He ran for the Senate over there. He's very well known. He was head of their university system.
Former chancellor of the
in Texas Tech. I mean, great individual. And there's no doubt that, if we can get this part done, they'll finish it up for us. But, if anybody's going down to Austin or down to Houston in that area,
Dallas.
they all go south and go down to the interstate and go through Pecos, Texas, go on down to Carlsbad.
Nobody's taking that route anymore because of the danger.
The roads are so bad down there, they don't go that. They go 380.
Wow.
And that's only compounded the problem. But so if we can get that to Brownfield, then we can go right ahead and we can be in we'll have a 4-lane road where you can go straight down to Post Texas, turn on 87 or 84 and go on down south into Texas.
Yeah.
It opens the road up to Dallas. I mean, it's really a blessing if we can get that.
That'll be great. Well, hopefully, like you said, now that and it sounds like it's the perfect storm time because of this infrastructure money the feds are bringing in. If we're ever going to have a chance to see funding for these kinds of projects, now's the time to do it. So is now the big push just you guys working with Santa Fe and saying, hey, we're beating the bushes, we're knocking on doors, get the legislators to get some money appropriated for this.
Well, and the legislators are all on board on this. But really and truly, with the types of money that we're pushing for right now, that's pretty much going to have to come from the fourth floor.
Gotcha.
And that's why it's great to have Tim kind of leading the charge on this deal because he has that ability to
get a foot in the door.
Well, get that message
and get
across.
a meeting happening.
I mean, the meeting we had last Friday, I'll just tell you, Mike, was a great meeting. And we talked about all these things, but then we also got into talking about the problems that we have going on here in the state right now with our employment, our teachers, our law enforcement, our healthcare workers, and all this stuff. And because we're struggling right now.
And that's where we need the state's help because at the end of the day, we need them to make our state more appealing to because we're losing to other states. Because they're offering much more, amenities, services, money, all the almost to the person. Check more there, and I know our school districts are doing everything they can, but the state's got to get involved and say, hey, we got to help. We got to help. Pick up this pot and spruce this pot up for you, so we are a more attractive place for these skilled laborers to come to.
Right. Well, and some of the retirement stuff is part of the problem also.
Yeah.
And so. You've got a lot of teachers who have retired. You have a lot of law enforcement, others that have retired, but you have to protect your pension funds. Okay. And so you let them go back to work and continue collecting their retirement, but the monies they put in going back to work, well, they still get their retirement and they're still making their paycheck. So, but for me, if I went back to work right now teaching, I would make my salary, but I would still have to put into the retirement fund. But I don't see any of that retirement that I put into after I retire, which I'm good with because I'm back to making a check. I'm collecting my retirement.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that we keep our pensions shored up so that we don't fall off there. But
absolutely. Well, and let's face it, benefits have gone down across the board for everybody. Back a healthcare plan 20 years ago with your employer is probably 1,000% better than anything you see today, just because of the world we live in now.
Right.
So interesting. So what is it? So really, is it just cracking into the governor's office and making headway, or is there anything we the public can do at this point? I mean, like you said, legislators are on board, so. Writing them, would that help as ammo for fights here in January for this session to get some money? Or
the one thing about that, Mike, is I wouldn't look at it as a fight.
Okay,
I would look at it as trying to work with and
convince.
Show,
maybe that's the right
way. And show how important it is to southeastern Mexico, because that road deal is not just important for Chaves County; it's important for Lee County, for the whole.
The road deal opens up Lincoln County. It really, it really eases the access to Lincoln County, which is it's a pretty hard hit area as well.
Sure.
We had a lot of snow up at Sierra Blanca, so they need they need the extra people if we can get them here, and it's good for the whole area.
Absolutely, and when we're talking roads in here, I mean, obviously that benefits oil and gas because that they travel these roads, but like you said, it benefits every aspect, tourism and everything. Now, if we're making easier paths for people to come to New Mexico to see the sights and everything, you know what I mean? The easier that is, the more likely they're going to do it, and so it is a win-win for not just oil and gas, but every single person that lives or travels through this part of the state.
Leprino is building we have a plant here Leprino employs about 600 people, but they're building another plant in Lubbock. And so if you look, and I think it's larger than this one, and if that's another 600 people, I mean, that's a lot of milk that's got to come from somewhere.
Sure.
And, so that just means there's going to be that many more milk trucks on the road. And, the plant
it's
here
going to create more traffic on that stretch of highway we're just talking about.
It takes some milk from 100,000 cows for our plant here. And so, that's a lot of cows and a lot of hay and a lot of things that happen. And, so there's enough need for that road. And, those are all semis that are going there, and it's it's not too hilly, but there's a couple long pulls that they've got to have on Comanche Hill. And, and
that's what I was kind of talking about earlier about the danger, because a lot of those little dips and things, you don't see a car buried in there, and you try to pass, and next thing you know, out of the dip comes one of these things. Yeah.
Well, and so in dairies, and so this is where the highway and the air center collaborate and coalesce on this deal, because you get the infrastructure going out there, you get the companies, and you start building out there at the air center. Well, that road to the Texas state line is going to be very attractive to anybody who's wanting to come in and create business
bring in
out
traffic,
there.
Trucks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of, what I'm thinking, obviously we talk, passengers, but also obviously the commercial side and these businesses. But I know milk doesn't travel the way it travels, but I'm wondering, if they're hooking up with the air center, does that give like Leprino a way to, get their product out faster through air travel versus trucks and things? I mean, is that even in the equation for them, or down the road or something?
And so, City Councilor Stubbs brought up a really great point that the air center is like the Golden Triangle.
Yeah,
you got rail out there, you've got air out there, and then you've got your road highway system and stuff. And so, but it's a big deal.
Sure,
it really is. It's huge.
I mean, that potential is there. Where because right now we look at that airfield and we think, okay, yeah, it's great for our personal travel, and obviously as far as the air industry and infrastructure there for painting and doing various works on these planes. But why can't we have that third facet where our transportation part of it, where products and services are coming right through or coming out of Roswell or coming into Roswell through there? In the future, maybe, instead of using rail or trucks to be able to ship milk or maybe they got a big weird plane tanker they just take off and, fly it to DC and it's there in 2 hours. Maybe that, who knows where technology takes it, but that kind of sets the table for us to go that way if the industry needs to.
Well, and like you were saying earlier, and Tim said it also, I mean, you get out to that southeast side of the airport and you start building your back shops out there, or you have some of your other hangars that are out there. Now
their support is on site.
Now you've got support on site.
The whole thing about getting the infrastructure and getting the power, the water, utilities, sewer, everything, getting that in there is that they can come in and build a hangar in 9 months and be up and running. And that is what our goal is. So we have the building sites in there to do that.
Sure.
You can put new bulkheads. The 767s are now going from passenger service to freight service. Those are all things where you have to take the seats out, put in new bulkheads, doors, and
overhaul it.
Put those all together. And even for the 10,000-hour checks and stuff for those big airlines, they all have to take everything out. These are all things that could be done at that air center. And it's just like the seats. Why would you fly them all the way to Israel to recover seats when if you had a big hangar there, all you could do is you could resurface or redo them all the seats.
Sure.
But it's not just there. You can do the same with engines. You can do the same with hydraulic components.
Turn Roswell into a one-stop shop for these guys, basically.
That's why AVEX is such a. I mean, they're expanding their services somewhere, and with a 400% increase, it probably won't be a Roswell. But if they come something more reasonable or something, then we can go ahead and they'll move in here.
Sure. And if you turn it into that where it's so convenient and accessible for these companies, and they're going to set up shop, come home here, and next thing you know, our three-legged little stance of ranching and oil and gas and our other entities here is going to that leg's going to get very strong and who knows, because that opens the world for all kinds of diverse opportunities and infrastructure and things here. Once that airport's up and running and there's products going in and out, or airplanes that come here for all their overhaul and maintenance needs, where we're kind of the unofficial hub for all these flights coming around the world. It's not even just the United States. Like you said, it's the world here. And I'm telling you, that could be a mega financial boost to this area. We're going from our 50,000 stagnant to we're talking, Las Cruces size or bigger. That's a very big.
It can all happen if we all get together and really look at it and pull. And this is the area, we have a perfect area to do that. The amount of flight time we have around here for training and everything else, we are a perfect place to do it. And one of the other side benefits is maybe we can get all those airplane parts off the on the back side of that base and get them where it doesn't look like you're flying into a wrecking yard.
And airplane junkyard, boneyard here. Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. And I know they refurbish planes and get everything going back again, but it's all things we can do. But we need to work at it. You have to look and remember, we're one of the best aviation schools, of anywhere around here in our local college. And our college has agreed. They work with all these people on making sure that they have the quality of employees that we have to have.
They see the need. They see the advantage of where they're located and how they can provide a unique service that a lot of colleges of that caliber can't provide.
And they can train the people to do it.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's a win-win situation what we have here. And our college is a very vital role in this whole thing too.
Just telling you, young people, if you're looking and kind of trying to figure out, go get your AP license and go be an aircraft mechanic. I guarantee once you get that AP license, you're going to write your own ticket. If you can make a very good living doing that.
Well, and with what you're saying, Mike, Mike Espiritu and Buck Kunkel, our Chaves County, Roswell EDC, they're doing a great job with promoting the CTE programs. And I mean, and that's where this deal is at, whether you're talking about air mechanics for Crumlins or you're looking at HVAC. I mean, all these deals, these kids don't realize just how much money they can make going into some type of vocational program.
Or you could do it the hard way, like I did, and go in the military. They'll do it for free, but they're going to train and get you all the same. But in essence, you could just go to that community college and get the same formal training. Not everybody yelling at you and doing all. Now, if you need some discipline and everything, highly recommend it. But if you're not down with all that, you can easily go to this college and get that A&P license and make six figures in a very short time.
Yeah. So you needed discipline?
A little bit. This is the discipline me. We're out of time here. We're running out of time. But if people have questions or anything, is there a resource or something you just that maybe want to talk about it or anything?
I think that you can call the EDC.
Okay. Talk to Mike
Espiritu.
He does an amazing job.
You catch Jason Perry or myself or Judy Stubbs or anybody else to kind of have these conversations. But we're really looking forward to what's out in front of us. And I'll just tell you real quick, back a couple months ago, Senator Lujan, it is Lujan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. he came out and did a tour out there on the base, and he sees it. And I mean it's
a gem.
It is the diamond in the rough.
We got a treasure chest right there sitting there.
And so the monies that we have coming from the federal government, if we do this right, put politics to the side, we can make some big things happen for this community.
Oh yeah, big time. I could see us easily being an industry leader in some aircraft stuff because of those facilities out there. If we just
so true
spend some investment into that thing, we could, you talk about like Silicon Valley in California. Maybe we're Airplane Valley here in Roswell. Who knows?
Well, we really appreciate the senator taking the lead on this deal, and he's got a vision and a passion for this community and for southeastern New Mexico, Chaves County, Roswell. A lot of people don't know that Tim was a former Chaves County commissioner before he 2
years ago.
Yeah, that was back when he was caddying out at the base.
Back when bell bottoms were still very popular.
Right.
Holy smokes.
We're not going to age anybody here, right?
Let's just say, his TV show was like MASH, maybe.
Maybe it was Gunsmoke.
It was Gunsmoke.
Yeah, it was Gunsmoke. Bonanza.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. And,
thanks, Mike.
Thanks for having us on.
And thanks for doing what you do. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. So have a good weekend,
Sounds
too.
Great. You too.
Try not to do too much craziness this week.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's 9:57. Quick break before we get kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. President Biden picks 3 for the Fed Board of Governors.
They include Sarah Bloom Raskin, a former Fed and Treasury official, for the top regulatory slot, and Lisa Cook, who would be the first black woman to serve on the Fed's board. Mr. Biden is also nominating Philip Jefferson, an economist, dean of faculty at Davidson College in North Carolina, and a former Fed researcher. The 3 nominees, who will have to be confirmed by the Senate, would fill out the Fed's 7-member board.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Wall Street tumbled at the opening bell this morning after an anemic retail sales report, an almost 2% slide in sales in December amid Omicron, sky-high prices, and product shortages. J.P. Morgan Chase reporting its fourth quarter profits fell 14% from 1 year earlier. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
For over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
It's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But it's really a gift that we give each other. The Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to use humor. But we don't want to insult your intelligence, so nothing too goofy. And we need to avoid any polarizing topics. Oh, and it has to be about